Fans expected to pile into this incredibly impressive football stadium to witness a hell of a heavyweight contest in around about an hour from now. As well as bringing you Oleksandr Usyk versus Daniel Dubois, we're also going to be bringing you the professional debut of the Prince, the new Prince, not Prince Naseem Hamed, his son Adam makes his professional debut in around about half an hour from now, so make sure you stick around for it. Just a little bit of extra for you as well, seeing as that we've got such a big show lined up. Yes, you can consume the show in your normal formats of radio, DAB and all that, but if you want to watch what's going on here at ringside, you're more than welcome to come and join us on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. Head there and you will see us. Well, you know what I mean, there's some attractive people ringside, Gareth A. Davies being one of them. You can come and actually witness what is happening here in Poland, so make sure you head on over there to enjoy the show. Gareth, oh my days, we have been blessed over the last 5 years in particular to cover boxing in football stadiums all over the world. I was tallying up with Andy Clark a little earlier on. I think we've done about 11 from various stadiums all over the place. A stadium's God, this is some impressive place.
It's always a special night, it's always a special fight when you are in an enormous, cavernous, open-air stadium. It's a sweltering hot summer night, and storm clouds are threatening as well. It's a big night when three world's heavyweight belts are on the line again. As you rightly mentioned, Daniel Dubois could be the fourth British fighter to hold three of the world title belts after Lennox Lewis, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. The 10th man if he does it tonight. What's special about tonight is that this is a homecoming fight in Poland for a Ukrainian national hero for whom I believe, I'm understanding, soldiers in their numbers on the front line are watching him around television sets as they fight their Russian enemies at the moment. It's got so many things on so many levels. Daniel, the proverbial Daniel, stepping into the lion's den tonight. Does Dubois have it between his ears, that mental capacity to hold the fact that he is in here against a master, a guy whose level he hasn't fought before? Does Usyk have the magic in him in this giant cauldron to prove once again that he is going to become the undisputed champion and face Tyson Fury? There's so much on the line. The crowds are beginning to fill up the arena. Denis Barenchik, while Ukrainian fighters in the ring at the moment, came in with his axe on the way. Not a real axe, by the way, a blown-up axe, but you can feel the support when he came in. This is going to be a very, very big night, and like you say, big stadium fights are always special. That storm brewing, by the way, I've got to say this, old Chinese proverb, we may get a thunderstorm in an hour's time as well. That's forecast. Old Chinese proverb. When the thunderstorm comes and the rain comes, it's a portent, an omen of change. Is there going to be a change in the heavyweight division tonight? Are we going to get Shakespearean drama in front of us in the ring? We are yet to find out.
For people that are tuning in, that are mainly football fans, and you're with talkSPORT this evening, thank you very much for your company. But just to give you some type of idea of the task that is ahead for Daniel Dubois, let's put this and compare it to some of the things that we've seen in the past. We've seen major upsets, especially in the heavyweight division. In recent times, Andy Ruiz, on very short notice, managed to topple Anthony Joshua to become the unified heavyweight champion of the world. If we go a little bit further back, older listeners will obviously remember Buster Douglas taking out the then absolutely ferocious Mike Tyson. Where do you put the task ahead of Daniel Dubois tonight in those annals of time?
I'm going to say, because the Buster Douglas Mike Tyson 1990, with Mike Tyson in his prime, scrambling around the canvas in Tokyo, looking, his senses scrambled, looking for his gum shield, if you recall, trying to pick it up as the referee counted him out. I'm counting it in that big an opportunity, that big a shock, that big an upset, because the biggest, highest level fighter that Daniel Dubois has beaten so far is Nathan Gorman. Oleksandr Usyk has proven, apart from in the amateurs, when he's been put down by body shots, he can live with anyone in the world, in any country, in their backyard, and he's here in his own backyard. No one has been able to create problems for the dancing cat. Derek Chisora for a couple of rounds maybe. He can dance, he can sing, he can do ballet, he can juggle. And the key was, and I had this from Spencer Oliver, I know you'll bring him in a minute, The key is footwork in this fight. How does Daniel Dubois go to the body, which he's going to do? He's going to target Usyk, because Usyk was damaged to the body as an amateur. That was where he was vulnerable. How does he get in range? Can he do it? Can he stop the dancing southpaw from running rings around him and popping him from loads of different angles? We don't know. If he can, it'll be a night of greatness for Daniel Dubois. A night when he starts to join the table when people talk about him taking part in an undisputed title against Tyson Fury.
Absolutely. You mentioned Spencer Oliver's name there. He's part of the team tonight, and he's just joined us here ringside. Spence, the atmosphere is building. It's been building all week, let's be honest. We've been lucky to be around this fantastic Central European city, and it's been building all week, and now you can really start to feel that big fight night feel here in Poland.
Absolutely. Listen, when you get these stadium fights, they're always big fight nights, you know, but there's something special about this week, with it being Ukrainian Independence Day on Thursday, with the amount of Ukrainians that are living in this area, with, you know, what Oleksandr Usyk is representing, you know, his country, and, you know, it's going to be very emotional in here tonight, and we can see, as we've had a couple of Ukrainian fighters on the undercard, we've got one in there in Branchek now, you see the crowd are really behind them. It's really starting to bubble up the atmosphere now as we're filling up, and it's probably about just over half full, I would say, right now, but this will be packed, you know, by the time Oleksandr Usyk comes in. It's a tough night for Daniel Dubois. You guys were right in what you mentioned there, you know, in heavyweight boxing is steeped in upsets, you know, and massive ones. Whenever it's an upset, it's always a huge one. That Lennox Lewis, Oliver McCall, Hussein Rakhman, Lennox Lewis, you know, you mentioned Mike Tyson,
Andrew Ruiz and Anthony
Douglas,
Joshua.
Absolutely. So it ranks right up there with that. That's the task that Daniel Dubois has got in front of him. Now, I spoke to Daniel at the open workout, actually, about what he's going to be coming into. You know, is he prepared for what he's coming? It's going to be a hostile crowd. He says he is, his whole team says he is, but the team actually said to me, but the reality is we won't know that until Daniel does his ring walk. And that's where a fight can be won or lost on that ring walk. Daniel's going to be coming into something he's never come into before. Usyk has. Champions feed off pressure. There's a lot of pressure on Oleksandr Usyk tonight, but he will feed off that, because not just champions, greatness feeds off it, and that's where I think Oleksandr Usyk is.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I actually wanted to bring up that we haven't really spoken about, we've obviously talked about the atmosphere from a Daniel Dubois point of view, and Spencer just rightfully brought up, listen, Usyk has fought in big stadiums before. We saw him at Tottenham, we've seen him do this countless times, but there is a slightly different emotional connection to tonight, because he hasn't fought in front of his Ukrainian people in Ukraine since the back end of 2015, okay? Everything that he's done as a world champion cruiserweight heavyweight has been on the road. Now, I'm not saying he's been underdog in all of those fights. There's been some even contest world championship fights, but he's been away from home, taking on champions in their own backyard, where that champion, for example, Anthony Joshua is a great example of this, is being cheered by 60, 70,000. So he's been the away fighter coming into the cauldron. Tonight there's added pressure for them, isn't there?
I don't know about that. He didn't seem to have added pressure when he won Olympic gold in London in 2012.
No, what I'm saying is this is home. Away from home, he seems to thrive in it. This is a new pressure as a home fighter.
I don't think so with him. I think there's an icy calm about him. Almost, there's an icy calm and such a zaniness about him.
Yeah.
And like the right kind of screw loose, where he loves this. He knows his talent. When he did the workout earlier in the week, we stood there, Spence, didn't we? We're going, what's he going to do next? He was juggling with 4 balls. He was doing a totally out of control, in control dance with his best mate, who's a DJ, throwing his body around. He was dancing around the ring. He was doing bouncing Cossack dancing exercises. Skipping was so extraordinary. He does ballet. He's a real master of movement and circus tricks. And I think he loves it. I think, you know, the Cossack in him embraces this. I just think he's born for it.
Yep, totally agree with everything you just said there. You know, like I said to you, you know, greatness, champions, whatever word you want to use, feed off this sort of pressure. It brings out the best in them. Here we are with Oleksandr Usyk. What's he turned? Just turned 37, 36. So, yeah, and here we are with him. He's in a unique sort of position where we actually don't know still how good he is, because everyone he stepped up to,
Anthony, how great he will be.
No, absolutely. What I'm saying is, Anthony Joshua was expected to beat Oleksandr Usyk. He was expected to overpower him, be too big, too strong, home advantage, all of that stuff. And Usyk, you know, he got into a rhythm and it was difficult to break. The second time, we go, Joshua's got to win this one. He knows what to do now. But funny enough, and Josh was saying, you know, it's all right saying you've got to close the gap and get inside and sit in the pocket and push him, but if someone's controlling the space, that's a very difficult thing to do, to separate the hands and the feet. So what I'm saying is, from Dubois' point of view, he needs to move the feet in range, but he's got to be quick and light on his feet and then let the hands go. A lot of fighters try and close the space with the hands, which is the wrong thing to do. Oleksandr Usyk is a genius in there, and that's what he's very good at doing. He's good at setting traps.
Can I say one thing? The style differences between Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois are fascinating as well for Oleksandr Usyk, because I think that Dubois is defensively weaker than Joshua, but offensively stronger at this point in his career. So he produces difficulty for Usyk early on in the fight, but he's easier for Usyk to hit than Joshua was, in my view.
It is a huge, huge step up, though, for Daniel Dubois, isn't it? We have not seen him anywhere near this level. And when he stepped up to the fringe world level, and that's no disrespect to Joyce, that is a fringe world level. He's trying to aspire to become world champion. He fell short of Daniel Dubois on that particular night. This is a huge jump.
Catman, you just nailed it. And that's what this is. You know, I think that when he stepped up in level before Daniel Dubois, he's proud. He come apart a little bit. We saw him, and you know, and he got stopped in that fight against Joyce. But this is all about levels, right? Usyk, we know, can compete at this level. We know he can adjust. Adaptability is what makes great champions. Usyk can sit in the pocket. He can have a fight. He don't mind having a fight, but he also boxes around the perimeter of the ring. He boxes beautifully. His combinations, setting traps, etc. We know Daniel Dubois can go in there and blow people away, people at a lower level. Can he do it against the world's elite? That's what we're going to find out. Usyk, we pretty much know, you know, that he can up his game and do what he wants to do. Daniel Dubois, this is a whole new level here. You know, it could be one of those fights where you go, we know what he's got to do. He's got to get in there, he's got to close the gap, etc. We're all talking about that, landing that big right hand. But the reality is, trying to do it against an elite fighter is very difficult to do. It could turn out to be like one of those fights where Usyk goes in there, plays through him a couple of rounds, Dubois walks onto a shot, and it's done. It could be one of them. It's all about finding out more about Daniel Dubois tonight, actually.
Is there any question still for you of the dog in the fight when we're referring to Daniel Dubois? Given what happened in the Joyce fight, I think he answered a couple of questions against Kevin Lerena, coming through a little bit of adversity in that fight, but we're talking of a lot lower level than what he's going to experience tonight. Is there any question of a heart?
I don't use the word quitter ever about fighters. I think he took a knee against Joyce because of the pain threshold in his body at the time.
He hadn't experienced it before.
He hadn't experienced it before. Kevin Lerena, he battled back, having damaged his knee and was caught early in the fight. I don't question this young man's heart. What I question is whether he has the experience and the wherewithal and that mentality that Don Charles' trainer will try and keep when he stands in the ring for 15 minutes waiting for Usyk to come in to his Ukrainian rap, to the rapture of the crowd, to the national anthem, to Slava Ukraini, to the support of his people. Has Daniel got it to keep himself focused, tunnel visioned? He told me this week, he's not thinking about the dancing cats, he's thinking about a target that he's going to punch through. He's going to punch through this target. He is a man, Usyk is a man, in the way of Daniel Dubois' childhood dream. That's how he thinks of this. He's got to take this opportunity because he'll be frozen out of the landscape for the next 2 years if he doesn't.
I'm going to let you go and do your thing, roaming around ringside, if that's all right.
I'll
just
try and
Prince
find
Nazim.
Jake Paul, Prince Nazim, Lomachenko.
Do that.
Who else do you want?
The who's who, mate. That's what it is, because the stars are out. They're ready for the big...
All right, listen. Who's who coming up?
There you go, then. Right, I'll let you crack on with that, Gareth. I just want to bring Spence back in on the trainer aspect, because Gareth was just alluding to the fact there about Don Charles. teaming up now with Daniel Dubois. We've seen Daniel Dubois under the tutelage of Shane McGuigan, and I thought he was progressing quite well, actually. And I thought Shane McGuigan did wonders for him in the Lorena fight in particular. Obviously, that dismantled, and now we find ourselves with Don Charles. You know Don very well. What will he bring to Daniel Dubois this evening?
Listen, Don Charles has worked at the very top. He's been one of those guys that's worked with Derek Chisora. When he went over to Germany and boxed Klitschko, he's been in this environment before, this atmosphere before. Don Charles, as a trainer, has competed at the top level. So what he'll be working on with Daniel Dubois, a lot of it is the psychological side, preparing him for that, because that's where the fights are won and lost. Look, we know Daniel Dubois has the physical attributes to cause a huge upset, one of the biggest upsets of all time, because he can whack, he's got big size, he's heavy-handed with both hands, but he needs to get in the range and he needs to be prepared mentally to go somewhere. You know, you touched on it there, you know, is he prepared to, you know, where is he at with it? You know, there's a lot of question marks over the Joyce thing. I didn't question that at all, because I could see he had a problem with the eye, but it turned out to be a broken eye socket, and he effectively saved his career. Then there's question marks hanging over that Kevin Lorena victory. You know, was it the knee that was as bad as it was? Or, you know, there was a couple of times he went down and only seemed to get glanced or whatever. I don't think I question his heart. Speaking to him here, I saw a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? I saw a little bit of fire in his belly this week.
Especially at the weigh-in, there were a bit of nastiness about him, and you don't normally see that. With all due respect, people who've been consuming what we've been doing all week, you can interview Daniel Dubois. Listen, he's a very shy, retiring type of guy. He doesn't have that WWE personality, does he, where he's going to shout from the rooftops and all that. But at the weigh-in, there was a tiny little bit of something where you saw the switch just go a touch, which excited me, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what it is with Daniel Dubois, like with tactically? Don Charles is a great tactician. They would have worked on stuff. They've got, you know, they brought a secret weapon into the camp as well, which
James Ali Bashir,
Oleksandr Usyk found out about this. Alexander's old trainer. You know, that they're playing the psychological battle there straight away. Good work there from Don Charles and the team, bringing him in there. And what we're going to find out is that if Daniel Dubois can't adapt in a fight, right, he's got just a puncher's chance, but you've got to get in range to land that punch, and Usyk's great at controlling the space. So, Daniel Dubois has to have a B plan here, and even a C plan if things are not working the right way. If that is, he's got that aggressive style, and he goes forward, educated pressure, but he can't get in range or whatever, and he's got to set traps. That's what we're going to find out again about Daniel so far, because we've not seen that yet from him, and that's what he's going to have to do. This is a huge step up for him, it really is. But Don Charles is a great addition to the camp. Trust me, he's been there, seen it, done it. Training camp out in Spain, up in the mountains, you know, training at altitude. Had some amazing fighters over there in the sparring camp as well. And he's in tip-top shape. It's all down to him now. Opportunity, baby.
If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Fight Night Live in Poland here on talkSPORT. We've got the Unified Heavyweight Championship of the World coming your way a little later on as Oleksandr Usyk defends those 3 belts. His Unified Championship against his #1 with the WBA, Daniel Dubois. We'll also have the debut of Adam Ahmed, the son of Prince Nazim Ahmed. I just want to bring in our chief commentator, Andy Clark, who is alongside me. Oh, in fact, Andy, I apologise because you've been top trumped by Jake Paul, I believe, because Gareth A. Davies is with Jake Paul right now.
Listen, if you're with Jake Paul, you can't be talking to Andy. We'll be back to you in a second, Andy. I'm only joking. Jake, how are you?
Andy, I'm doing good. Sorry, Andy.
There you go. You see, that's what a gentleman he is. Talk to us about your last fight, Nate Diaz. How was it?
Man, it was good. I just went out there, had fun, 10 rounds, great experience, and dominated him, and just, man, leveled up. And I'm just continuing to have fun with this sport and to grow and get better and better with each fight.
It's funny with the Diaz. Unless you nail the Diaz to the canvas, they still beat you, don't they, in their minds?
Yeah, no, I think that's what happened. But I dog walked them, put them on a leash, and silenced all the haters that were doubting me.
I get a little bit of time with you about every 2 or 3 months now, and you are growing as a person and as a boxer. Is that aspiration still there to be a world champ?
100%, man. That's what motivates me and drives me in the gym every single day. Become a world champion or die trying. That's my motto.
Logan, well, Logan Paul, of course, had a press conference in London last week. So did KSI and Tommy Fury. Do you have eyes on that? Were you around, or were you Were you in America?
No, I was in America, but obviously saw it, and yeah, just excited for my brother to get back in the ring, man. Like, people don't realize how good of a boxer he is, so he's gonna knock this guy out and continue to stay active, which I think everybody's been wanting for years. So I'm very excited.
What happens when Tommy Fury and KSI step into the ring, in your view?
Man, I don't know, but I know that all those fights are big. I want KSI, I want Tommy in the rematch. So regardless of what happens,
you fight the winner.
I want all of them. I want all the smoke, baby. Let's get it.
So you'll take the winner first and the loser next, or whoever's first?
Yeah, whoever. We'll figure it out, man. Whoever wants to actually fight and get these deals done. A lot of times it's all smoke and mirrors with these guys. They go on Twitter saying, he said this, he said that. Look who's been consistently fighting since the start of this game. It's me. I'm down to make everything happen, to put it all on the line, to take the risk, to show up and make the big fights happen.
Conor McGregor's trying to creep into the mix as well. Is he on your target list?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been, you know, someone that I'm down to fight for sure. I don't think he'll fight me, though. I think he's going to try to take on one of the other influencer boxers first, which is smart because he's seen what I've done to every MMA fighter. I'm a better boxer than all. Do
you knock McGregor out?
Easily, yes, 100%. He's very chinny. Put him to sleep. And the way he's been partying and not living the boxing or MMA lifestyle, he doesn't stand a chance.
Talk to me about tonight, Jake. It's always a big occasion. 50,000, 45,000 people. We're in Poland, but we're almost in Ukraine. It's an amazing night. Alex Krasiuk sitting next to you, who's done an amazing job on this. Oleksandr Usyk is loved in the UK and loved in Ukraine as a national hero. I hear from Alex is going to speak to us in a bit that the soldiers on the front line are even watching him tonight, huddled around TV sets, like something from a movie.
Yeah, this is bigger than boxing. That's why I wanted to come see it for myself. And I'm excited for Usyk. Dubois is a hell of a fighter, and I know this is going to be a war. Dubois got a puncher's chance. Usyk's a superstar, and he's doing it for his home country, which is just so honorable. So I'm just excited to be here. The atmosphere is great, man.
Great to see you back in black, baby.
Let's go. Come on, baby. Good to see you. My guy.
Jake Paul there catching up with Gareth A. Davies. Listen, he was a gentleman there, obviously apologising to our chief commentator, Andy Clark. He stole a few minutes off you there, buddy.
Well, we're very close.
Yeah, I heard.
Very, very close. We became good pals at the end of February when I was over there for Jake Paul against Tommy Fury, as you fellas were as well. I like him, though. You know, his attitude to the sport, his attitude to the whole business. I think it's refreshing. I think he's an honest, hard-working grafter when it comes to the gym and when it comes to getting in there on the night. So, you know, I've always kind of looked at him as being different to the rest of those guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's good to see him obviously in attendance tonight. I'm led to believe he's actually in Team Dubois tonight. That's who he's going to be supporting. He thinks that Daniel might be able to pull this off. We'll get a little bit more from him, no doubt, a little bit later on in the show. Andy, what I wanted to talk to you about, obviously we've been blessed to travel the world and go to all these fantastic cities all over the world to take in the sport of boxing. We haven't been in a more impressive venue than this, have we? What an unbelievable arena.
It's amazing, and when I was watching the footage from it earlier in the week from you guys, I was seeing the 360 view and thinking, what is it about this place that makes it different to anywhere else we've been? And what it is the fact that it's a single tier.
Yeah.
Everywhere else is multiple tiers. And of course, Cardiff was fantastic. Wembley's amazing. Spurs was amazing. Bournemouth was great. Sold out for Billiam Smith, wasn't it? Bramall Lane, fantastic. I went to one for Flori Marcu in Albania, which was great fun. But you look around this, and the scale is just crazy because it is this big cauldron, it is this big bowl, this huge
Colosseum-esque, isn't it?
Yeah,
it feels a bit like that.
It is. It absolutely is like that, and it will be packed later on. And the ring walk for Usyk, I think, it's going to be something really, really special. Very, very emotional. You were talking about pressure earlier, and I think Spencer put it perfectly, really. Pressure is a privilege for top-level athletes. It's what they want, it's what they relish, it's what they thrive off. And fighters in particular, a lot of them start in team sports. Usyk started in football, but they gravitate towards boxing because they want the accountability. They don't want to ever rely on anyone else. They want it to be all down to them. If it's good, it's to their credit. If it's bad, it's their fault. They're happy to live with it. So when it comes to pressure, I don't think there's anyone better equipped to handle it than the fighter.
He is a special human being, and it's a privilege once again to be ringside for an Oleksandr Usyk fight as he defends the Unified Heavyweight Championship a little later on against his #1 mandatory challenger with the WBA in Daniel Dubois. Spence, I just want to quickly, we'll do a bit more of an in-depth preview as we get closer to his fight, but there's also the debut of a young prince, Adam Ahmed. You're very, very close to Prince Naz. It's been beautiful actually watching you two bump into each other in various places around Wrocław, stopping, chatting. I can't get you away from him. He chews your ear off for about 30 minutes, but it's great to catch up with Naz. How's he feeling about his lad now turning over and becoming a pro?
Glad you asked me the question, because I said to that, I said, Naz, do you feel the nerves? Do you feel the nerves? He paused, he looked at me, he said, nerves. He's a young prince. We don't get nerves. He said, no, he's just soaking up the atmosphere. The boy Adam's got that DNA, you know, he's loving this. Pro debut, no amateur experience. Fascinated to see exactly what we're going to get in there. Have they got pressure? No. Naz, no, he's buzzing for it, and so is Adam.
Gareth A. Davies is out and about ringside, I believe. He's with George Warren.
Yeah, I am with George, but he's absolutely wrapped with this fight. His guy Darius Berenchik's in his corner. He's in the corner, literally. George, you've been out here all week. Tell us about the fight week, what you make of this. It's a different atmosphere, it's a different place. It feels good tonight.
Yeah, everyone's been very welcoming. Look, we know we're here, we're the away camp. Daniel is the away fighter. We know for sure he's up against it. The crowd are going to be obviously supporting their man in Oleksandr Usyk. He needs to hopefully have watched what Hamza Sheeraz just did, because Hamza Sheeraz came out and absolutely obliterated his opponent who was here with a home crowd. They were all behind him. Punch perfect display, and if Daniel can do anything like that with Oleksandr, we're all going to go home very, very happy.
Is it a test of levels for him tonight, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a test of his temperament, his composure, his ability. I like the weight. You know, for me, I think he looked really, really well on the scales. I think it looks to me a smart move to come in to be able to move with the guy. But we know he's got a tough fight. No one's sitting here and saying anything else. We know that Usyk is an elite heavyweight, a world-class guy, second in the world in my books after Tyson Fury. But I believe that Daniel can do this.
Thanks very much, George. I'll let you get back to watching the fight. Thank you.
George Warren, Gareth A. Davies there. You're listening to Fight Night Live from Poland here on talkSPORT. I'm Adam Castle, Spencer Oliver and Andy Clark also alongside Gareth A. Davies for tonight's big contest. But right, boys, I'm going to throw this your way. We've been doing daily podcasts throughout the course of the week. We've had various conversations when we've been eating various meals and having chats. And Andy, you brought up something that really got my brain ticking about upsets, whether they be heavyweight or whatever. But we'll concentrate purely on that heavyweight division to start this conversation off. Where would this stand for you as you look down the great heavyweight upsets? Where would it stand for you if Daniel Dubois was to have his hand raised this evening?
Probably right up at the very top, because when you look at the resumes of the two fighters, and you were speaking about this yesterday afternoon, the gulf between the two of them is huge. Usyk, unified, undisputed cruiserweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, 335 wins, 15 defeats. But if we just look at the pros, he's undefeated, and he's also unified world heavyweight champion, back-to-back wins against Anthony Joshua. And as Gareth pointed out earlier on, Daniel's best win is at British title level against Nathan Gorman. He has got that WBA regular title, but let's be real, Trevor Bryan wouldn't be in your top 50. That's just how that is. So we can discount that really as being a world level W, because it isn't. That is a massive gap between the two of them. It's absolutely enormous. And when you look at Tyson against Buster Douglas, because of what Tyson had done up until that point, youngest ever world heavyweight champion, unified champ, undisputed champ, an absolute wrecking machine, him losing seemed unthinkable. But Buster Douglas was a good fighter, and he'd been at world level for a long time. He'd maybe let himself down every now and again, but everybody knew that if he put it together, it was a massive problem. Ruiz against Joshua, same thing really. Andy Ruiz had a world title fight, but been a bit unlucky maybe against Joseph Parker, but people respected him as having operated at that kind of level for a good while. So I do think it would trump either one of those two. You could go further back than that if you like, but I always prefer to stay in our kind of era. I think it would be, of the last 30, 40 years, it would be number one.
Regarding British victories, Spence, I mean, obviously, when we talk about great British victories, we always go down the Donald Curry, Lloyd Huygen from 1986. That's probably the number one, especially with it being overseas. We've had some wonderful ones on British soil as well, with Ricky beating Kosciuszko and all that. Where would it rank?
It's up there, mate. It's up there. We've been saying it all week, you know, and that is the famous one, the one that everyone recognises. You know, when Lloyd Honeyghan went over and beat Donald Curry, who was pound for pound the #1 star in the world then, no one give Lloyd Honeyghan, a hope in winning that contest. No one give him a hope. That's where we're sat right now, mate. That is exactly where we're sat right now. Let's be realistic about this. Does anybody think that Daniel Dubois has got what it takes to beat Oleksandr Usyk? No. Everyone in this stadium is going for Usyk, and I think most pundits would say the same thing as well. I think a lot of people are asking the question, can Daniel Dubois get through the fight? That's what I think they're saying. So that's the magnitude of where he's at. If he pulls this off, mate, this is a huge upset. It ranks up there, right up there.
We'll come back to that conversation in a moment or two. All week we've been bathed in glorious sunshine here in Poland, and I've just felt a few drops of rain coming my way. Gareth A. Davis is ringside.
Yeah, I am indeed. I'm not ringside, actually, Ed. The whole reason why I came back, I don't often do a weather report for talkSPORT. That's on the hour normally. But there is an alert of a warning of storms and strong winds expected tonight and tomorrow morning. Risk of power outages during the storm. Seek shelter. And that isn't the action in the ring. I'm outside the canopy at the moment, and I'm being rained on, by the way. The rain has started, and it is falling. We can see it through the focus lights up to the sky, the laser lights, and you can feel big drops of rain coming. It will be very strange as Yigit and Baranchyk go at it in the final round. I apologise, I'm getting overexcited. It will be very strange if we get the last couple of fights of the night in sheeting rain and storms. But as I said to you at the top of the show, that old Chinese proverb, when storms come, its portents have changed. Back to you and the Omen.
He is one on his own, isn't he? I think the beautiful thing about it is that the fight-wise, obviously you probably have to take precautions regarding fighters' footwear on ring walks and all those types of things in order to make sure that there's no slippage when they get into the ring. But there is a huge canopy over the ring, so I can't see it affecting the action in the ring. I just feel sorry for the 45,000 people that are outside of that canopy that just might get a bit wet.
Absolutely, but you know what? I think that 45,000 people, they will be staying sat in their seats because of what's going on here. World heavyweight title in Poland with their hero, Oleksandr Usyk, with the Independence Day week that it is, and the emotions are going to be flying around. They just want to see their champ. I've got to switch to this, by the way, Ad. This is an incredible fight going on here with Baranchyk and Yigit. They are just slugging it out in the centre of the ring here in the 12th round.
Two men that have got a lot of history together, haven't they, Andy? Obviously, they met in 2012, and they promised us a little bit of a showdown, and they've most certainly done it down the back end of this fight.
They absolutely have. It's been magnificent to watch this. A little bit slow to get going, but since then, they've really given us great entertainment. Baranchyk, for the most part, for the first two-thirds of the fight anyway, was the one on the front foot, really being the more proactive of the two, but Yigit was doing good work catching him on the way in. The last couple of rounds, they realise that they're near the tape, that it's all in the balance here. There's nothing in it really at all, and they are just standing square and swinging. A cut on the left eye of Yigit, which opened up quite early on. There was another one in the headline, and I really couldn't tell you which way this one is going to go, but it's been a pulsating 12 rounds, and a fantastic way to get this crowd going. I was just going to say that with regard to getting rained on in the stadium in a big fight, I've got first-hand experience of that, because I went over to Klitschko against Hay in Gelsenkirchen, me and some pals. We paid some money to get floor seats, and it was the worst possible place to be, because it rained all night long. We ended up standing on our chairs. In the end, they collapsed. It was just absolute chaos. Absolute chaos.
Which was the Joshua fight that it absolutely pelted it down? Was it
the first one in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, first one.
Not in the UK. There was one at Wembley. I'm sure there was one that we did, and it
Povetkin.
absolutely teamed it down.
Mate, I've got one for you as well. I've got one. Mike Tyson versus Lou Savarese up in Scotland. I was working up there actually for talkSPORT. Quick story. Steve Collins was working with us as well. He had the Scottish hat on and all that, and it started absolutely teeming down, freezing cold. I think it was like June time or something. Yeah, it was just one of those moments where the rain was coming in sideways, so he was getting absolutely soaked. I know there's weather warnings here as well. I'm just praying the rain comes straight down and we'll be all right.
Oscar Valdez, Scott Quigg as well. That were a bad one. Oh. Anyway, we're not here to give you weather reports. We're here to talk to you about boxing. Like I said, there is a huge canopy over the top of the ring, and I'm sure that it will not affect the action that is coming your way. There's something always quite special about the heavyweight championship of the world. I mean, we're blessed, Spence, to cover so many different fights on talkSPORT and try and get people that are into boxing a little bit closer to the action. There's always a little bit of magic in the air when it's the big boys and the big titles are on the line.
There's something magical about heavyweight boxing, you know, when you get these big showdowns with a unified title on the line, and with the fights that we've got potentially lined up as well, and with the opportunity that Daniel Dubois gets here to rip that script up. You know, it's something really, really magical about stadium fights. And tonight, I said to you guys in the week, didn't I, actually? I said, because of what's gone on around this week, with Ukrainian Independence Day, etc., etc., and the amount of Ukrainians here, and what Oleksandr Usyk has done for his country, fighting for freedom, going on the front line, it's going to be emotional, mate. It really is.
Do you take into consideration anything when we're talking about fighter activity? He's had 5 fights in 5 years, Oleksandr Usyk.
No, I don't think so. I think that, you know, he adapts. That's what he does, you know. He stays active, he lives in the gym. And, yeah, no, I don't. I think he's going to go out there and we're going to see one of his best performances with what he's got, the pressure he's got on his shoulders for what is happening in his country right now.
That's currently going on in the ring at the moment for a fight that's just finished between Derek Branchik and Mr. Yiji. Let's get the official result.
And the 80 scores it 117-111. Leszek Jankowiak scores it 115-113. Paweł Kardenis scores it 116-112. Ladies and gentlemen, by the unanimous decision, your winner is still WBO International Lightweight Champion, Denis Baranchyk.
So Denis Baranchyk delights the Ukrainian fans by getting a unanimous decision victory over Anthony Yiji. I thought 117-111 was maybe a touch wide, but a good fight all by it. And I'll tell you what, Yiji took that incredibly classy as well, applauding Denis Baranchyk. And the decibel levels you might just be able to hear have gone up a touch. It's party time in Poland. Now, we're all here, obviously, for the heavyweight championship of the world. Time for an odds update with William Hill. Joining us now to give us the latest odds as we build up for our main event of Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois is William Hill's Lee Phelps. Lee, how are you, mate? You well? I tell you, mate, there's a lot of excitement for that back home. There you go. That was a look ahead at the latest odds. Thanks to William Hills, Lee Phelps. Terms and conditions apply. You've got to be over 18. BeGambleAware.org. Up next here on Fight Night Live from the Tarczycki Arena in Poland, you'll hear the professional debut of Adam Ahmed. Lads, you've left the thing up. I can hear everything that's going on.
Michael! How are you, sir? Yeah, when there's a big show in town, you know? How are you, sir? Yeah, really well, you? Everything alright? Wow, you know, I'm just trying to make him look a bit better, you know? Oh, it's perfect. Well, good. It's some emotional night in it tonight, huh? Oh man, wow, wow, it's gonna be Independence Week and all that. It's gonna be quite emotional, I should imagine. Yeah. Interesting. Never boxed on the level, that's the problem. He's strong, he's got a punching chance, but it's very wonderful. No opposition at all. Joyce stops him in 9. That's his only loss, and bit one-dimensional. He's a bit one-dimensional, and Oleksandr can fight forwards, backwards, sideways, whatever you want, and that's... Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, but good, no, I'm looking forward to it, but otherwise everything's great. All over the place. Yeah, all over the place. It's great. Spencer? Yeah. Right, yeah, are you there? I'll try to see you there. See you at the catch up with you in a bit.
His opponent, Conor Dubois. Tell me, what dangers does he pose for your job?
He's a heavyweight. He's 5 kilos heavier than Usyk. He's strong. He knows how to punch. He's 25. He's so young.
You listen to Fight Night Live on talkSPORT. We're in the Tarczyński Arena in Wrocław, Poland, for the Unified Heavyweight Championship of the World. Oleksandr Usyk taking on Daniel Dubois. I'm Amir Khan, pleasure to be with you. My partner in crime, Gareth A. Davis, has got his microphone in hand. He's running around the place, chatting to the who's who. And the man that has put this show on, Alex Krasiuk, the chief man behind Oleksandr Usyk, is with Gareth backstage. The man that's brought us this show, Alex Krashuk there, catching up with Gareth Davies backstage. Whilst that was all going on, just on my monitor, we got a brief glimpse of Daniel Dubois just gloving up. He's going to be draped in purple this evening. What do you make of the choice of gloves, Spence? And if you can, for people that are tuning in, if you can give them a little bit of an explanation about the fly gloves that he's opted for, and why someone like Daniel Dubois would opt for that style of glove.
Yeah, listen, well, a fly glove is designed to be a puncher's glove, effectively, so, you know, they carry a lot of the weight. All the gloves are sort of designed very differently, like Cleo Reyes was, when I was boxing, was the main glove, it was the puncher's glove. Then you've got Grants who are involved as well. I think Oleksandr Usyk is actually wearing Rivals tonight. That's more padding around the knuckles, you know, as opposed to Daniel's, which will be more padding up the back end. So it's just what you feel comfortable with, whether you suffer with bad hands and you like your knuckles covered up a little bit. But really, there's something right here, mate. They're 10-ounce gloves. So when you see them, especially for the heavyweights, they have to loosen those laces so much with the, you know, the tape that they've got on, and the bandaging and the tape alone is like it goes really hard, rock hard. You get those gloves on as well. The heavyweights really struggle to get their hands in them.
Now, Spencer just cut off then. He just decided to stop speaking, didn't you? I get you, son. And I know why you did that. It's because it's a big fight field and Mr. Buffer's in town. And Gareth Davies is with Mr. Buffer right now, and they're just catching up ringside.
I am indeed. I am with the one and only The Voice, Mr. Michael Buffer. How are you, sir?
I'm well. Always good to see you at ringside.
Listen, you have been at some of the... You were just telling me, by the way, that you are 81.
No, I won't be 80 till next year.
Sorry, you're 79. Sorry. I'm sorry. It was the audio, the noise in the back.
79 for another 12 weeks, so...
But even so, that I count you've probably been at some of the biggest fights for the last, what, 45 years?
40 years, 41 years, yeah. Quite a few.
How does
Mike Tyson and Holyfield and, you know, Hagler and Leonard. There's a lot of history there, and I love every minute of it.
How does this rank? Because this is an unusual event. It's a homecoming for Oleksandr Usyk, 3 world title belts, a young challenger who's got great power, but it's a homecoming fight across the border in Poland for him.
We all know what's happening. We don't have to talk politics, but we know what's going on, and you've already felt it with some of the undercard fights here. The emotion is powerful, and emotion can be a powerful thing. A lot of times, you know, and you've seen this, where a guy makes a hometown fight and he's a favorite and he splashes out. I don't think that's a case with Usyk. Is so professional. He's got that will to win. Great story behind him, from a little footballer to becoming a fighter. And I think Daniel is a big guy with a big punch, but I think it's going to be, the whole scene is going to be too much for him.
I want to go back to how long you've been doing it, because when you love a job like this, like you clearly do, and you have The Voice, does it ever get tiring, or is it just another great notch on the wall?
You know, I'm a fan, and so are you. And I know you love what you do. I'm the same way. I don't have the ability, voice-wise, to come in and do a whole card of boxing. And, you know, over the last decade, it's been just main events only, and I still love it. No
Who's the number one heavyweight in the world
right now?
Yeah.
I think it might be a tie between this guy and the other tall guy from the UK, and I'd love to see them fight so we have an undisputed heavyweight champion.
Very diplomatic, very handsome, and very well turned out, as always, Mr. Michael Buffer.
The voice of boxing, Mr. Michael Buffer there ringside with Gareth Davies. You listen to Fight Night Live. We're in Poland tonight at the Tarczyński Arena in Wrocław. We're going to be bringing you the Unified Heavyweight Championship of the world as Oleksandr Usyk defends those crowns a little later on against his #1 challenger from the WBA in Daniel Dubois. Little bit of extra for you. I mean, you might be driving your car, you might be at work or at home, and you've got the radio on. If you do have the facilities where you can hit YouTube up and have a little bit of a watch of something whilst the fights are playing out, you're more than welcome to come and join us on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. Just flick that into your search engine and you'll be able to see us here in Poland myself, Gareth A. Davies, Spencer Oliver, and Andy Clark. And obviously you'll get full commentary of the fights that are coming up on that platform. As I said, the Unified Heavyweight Championship of the World is coming up, but we're about to do something a little fresh. That's right, the professional boxing debut of the new prince, Adam Ahmed. He's about to make his first ring walk, Spence.
Yeah, listen, I'm really excited about this, if I'm totally honest. We know what Naseem Hamed is all about. Would he let his son fight if he couldn't fight? The answer to that, my friend, is no, because Naz is all about greatness. He tells me that Adam's got it, you know, he's got it in abundance. He sees him in the gym, he's brilliant in the gym. But this is different, by the way. This whole atmosphere, you know, the nervous energy is totally different to sparring. That's what Adam's going to find out here. I'm interested to see how he handles this, because he's not even had a white collar fight. You know, he's only done the sparring thing. Sparring and fighting, two totally different things. So interested to see how he handles the whole occasion. Is he a chip off the old block? Is he got that DNA in him? We're going to find out.
I'll tell you what he does have. I found him to be an incredibly mature 23-year-old guy. Very, very respectful. I think he's held himself brilliantly throughout the course of this fight week. We were very lucky when we went to Saudi Arabia last year for Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Usyk. Obviously, Naz was there, and all his family were there, all the boys were there. Adam was there as well, and he said, listen, yeah, I'm going to turn over, I'm just working on a few things, and hopefully you'll get to see me within the next 12 months. Well, we're about to see him make his first ring walk. He seems to, I mean, obviously it's different when you walk out in front of 45,000 people, but he seems to have the right temperament.
Absolutely. Listen, he's been soaking it up, and you're right in what you say. He's a lovely young man. He's very infectious to be around, you know. He's been enjoying the moment, the open workouts, the weighing. He's had his whole family here. His two brothers are here as well. His mum, his dad is here. You know, Naz has been fantastic, by the way, all week. He's been a real character. You know, we've been out. He come running out of a restaurant one night when we was walking around the square. Caught up with us for about 3/4 of an hour. We was going for something to eat, actually, starving at the time, but we was speaking to the prince. What can you do? It was, yeah, they've just been brilliant, and as he's taking the walk out here, he looks nice and relaxed, folks. Now, I read a lot into, you know, the psychological side of fighters and how they are on that ring walk. You know, fights can be won and lost there. He's actually doesn't look nervous. There's no nervous look around him. He's coming in, he's singing, he's dancing, waving to the crowd. Looks good to me, mate.
He does look good. He's been accompanied by his brother and a friend there that is running their social media channel, as is the norm now, isn't it, with a lot of young fighters and young people obviously growing their own social media. But he is draped in a black robe, glitter. He's smiling away. He's a blooming handsome devil, isn't he? He's smiling away to the crowd, high-fiving every man and his dog as he makes his way in. Just going past Gareth A. Davies there as he makes his way to the ring apron. Now, here's the thing, right? I've got a £5 bet with my mate that he's going to do the flip. Is he going to do the flip? Is he going to emulate what his dad used to do? He's having a look. He's having a look. Here we go. Come on, Adam. No, he didn't do it. He teased us. He teased us. He put his hands on the top rope. He had a little bit of a look, didn't he? And then he stepped through. But that's beautiful as well, because at the end of the day, you've got to step out of the shadow of the man that came before, who's popped up on my monitor right now, Prince Naseem Hamed, and you've got to pave your own path. Like I said, all week he seems to have been incredibly calm. He's dealt with all the pressures, all the media obligations. He's got a beaming smile on his face right now, and he is ready to go to work for his first ever professional bout. What a card to do this on. On the undercard is the chief co-support to the Unified Heavyweight Championship of the World.
Referee Grzegorz Molenda. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black, official weight 61.3 kilos, his professional record, 1 victory, coming away by knockout and 2 defeats. Representing Ústí nad Labem, Czechia, Wojtek Grdy. And now, his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black, with the official weight 63.3 kilos. He makes his pro debut on the amazing stage just before the World Heavyweight Championship, from United Kingdom, son of the legend, Prince Adam Khamed.
Gentlemen, you receive instruction in the dressing room. Respecting my command and protecting yourself all the time. Good luck, both of you.
So here we go. He's been brilliant all week. He's talked the talk. Can he walk the walk? Is he a chip off his old block? It is the one and only professional debut of Prince Adam Ahmed. Live on talkSPORT, calling you through it. Spencer Oliver and Andy Clark.
So there goes the bell. Hamed in shimmering black with tassels down the side. Advances out of the blue corner quickly into the centre of the ring, settling into a southpaw stance. Wojtek Erdej in black and white, also boxing in that left-handed stance. One win and a couple of defeats for him. Hamed, as we know, has got no amateur experience. It's very unusual to come into the senior ranks and make your debut this high up a card. Full stop, let alone when you don't have that amateur seasoning. And he's looking for that left hand early on, just rolling those shoulders, moving nicely. As Spencer was saying, he didn't look at all nervous on the ring walk. Double jabs his way into range there, and the early signs are pretty good.
Yeah, they certainly are. You know, it looks like a chip off the old block, actually. He's shaping up like his dad, Naseem Hamed. He's boxing out of that southpaw stance. He's found the range, actually, with his jab as well here. Good, confident start by Adam. He's holding the centre of the ring well.
Just under 2 minutes remaining in round one. Looking to try and throw that lead right hand just off the vertical. Bangs his gloves together as he manoeuvres Erdej towards the ropes over on the right-hand side. Erdej skirts off to his right, backpedaling all the while around the perimeter of the ring. One thing you notice about the Czech Republic fighter is that his belt line is unusually low. He's got those shorts pulled down well below his belly button, which is not standard practice. Hamed, for example, has got them up as far towards that midriff, as high as you can get away with, really. And just dropping his height, dipping his knees. One thing that he could maybe be doing slightly better, although I don't want to be critical at this stage, is just cutting off the ring, because Erdej is looking to try and escape, but he's trapped in the red corner now. Erdej, right hand into the body there from Hamed. There's nothing coming back from Erdej. He needs to try and do something here. He's just leaning, and the towel has come in. They tried to throw the towel in, and now the corner did manage to throw the towel in, with their man caught in the corner. And it's an early finish for Adam Hamed. That was slightly curious, to be honest with you, because Erdej, who'd stayed out of trouble reasonably well up until that point and hadn't really taken anything expense, he got caught in that red corner right above us. He went into his shell. He was leaning back with all his weight into the corner. Therefore, he couldn't really move. And I think the corner felt they knew what was going to happen, although it hadn't actually happened. The first attempt to throw the towel in was unsuccessful, and then they got it in the second time of asking, and it's just a bit of a shame we didn't get to see more.
Yeah, we needed to see a little bit more there of Adam Hamed. You know, it's a perfect pro debut. That's exactly what he would have wanted, to go in there, get the job done. But you're right, Andy, what you say. It was an unusual one. He didn't seem to be in any sort of trouble. The trainer, the corners, obviously felt that he was in trouble, threw that towel in. I mean, he's only a young man, 17 years of age himself. As we look at it on our monitors, there's good body shots going in. He showed, actually, Adam Hamed, he showed good composure. He wasn't rushing for it. He was looking for the shots. You know, there was slight looks of his old man in there as well, where he was picking the shots, looking for the angles. But look, he got the job done. Not a lot coming back from him, by the way, his opponent. His opponent wasn't hurt in any way at all there either. Just the corner felt that it was the right time to throw in that towel. But you're right what you say, Andy. I would have liked to have seen a bit more.
Absolutely. There was just nothing coming back from Erdej, and that's really why the corner did what they did. But he looked nice and sharp. The fundamentals look pretty solid. Physically, he's certainly in very good shape. Training at McCracken's gym. He's just chatting to his trainer, Spencer McCracken Jr, over on the far side of the ring now as we wait for the announcement. Training alongside his brother, Ibrahim Suleiman Spider, who made his pro debut last week as well. It's a thriving environment down there. He's just having a little dance, just shuffling those feet above us as we wait for his opponent to get ungloved and make his way to the centre of the ring. Matching him is going to be interesting because he's got that target on his back because of who he is. They can't rush anything, but at the same time, you don't want him to... You can't have any more of them, can you?
No, listen, you can give him that. It's his pro debut, a lot of pressure, never really been in the ring before, only sparred, so it was all about, you know, looking good, getting the victory, building the confidence. This is all about development here for Adam Hamed. You know, he's got big shoes to fill in his old man, Naseem Hamed, and we know what an amazing career he had, and that will drive him on a little bit as well, you know, trying to achieve those heights that his old man done, but you've got to take it slow with him. It's all about the development.
Okay, we're just about ready to get the final announcement. They've both been called to the centre of the ring, these two, as the rain comes down around the arena.
Ladies and gentlemen, corner stop the fight after 2 minutes, 9 seconds. Round number 1. Your winner by TKO, Prince Adam Hamed.
So there you have it, a successful professional boxing debut for Prince Adam Hamed. Plenty more of that, no doubt, to come in the upcoming months. Gareth Davis is backstage at the moment, and he is with the man that is going to be in the corner of Daniel Dubois, the one and only Mr. Don Charles. Thanks, Gareth. He's with Don Charles there, the head coach of Daniel Dubois. Don't forget, on Monday morning, make sure you head over to the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. If you're already there watching us live now, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss out this little treat that we've got for you. The verdict with Carl Froch and George Groves. That's right, the boys are going to be reviewing Usyk versus Dubois in depth before looking ahead to Liam Smith and Chris Eubank Jr. A fight that you'll hear live and exclusive on talkSPORT next weekend. That's right, the home of boxing. It keeps coming thick and fast, doesn't it? That's the verdict with Carl Froch and George Groves. It's out on Monday morning on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel, and we are there right now, so if you want to consume this in vision, you can do so via our YouTube channel. Stick around, because coming up shortly, we've got the Unified Heavyweight Championship of the World to bring you.
By the way, I just spoke to the manager of that box.
I believe in myself and I believe in my ability. This is just a stepping stone to where I want to get to, and alhamdulillah for everything. We pulled up tonight.
Fury, Ngannou. How do you see that?
Man, you know, I'm just excited for Francis to get his opportunity to show other fighters, especially from the UFC, that they can, you know, break out of there, make their own lane. He's finally getting the pay that he deserves, so that's first and foremost. But it's definitely going to be a tough challenge for him, right? And I fought all these MMA fighters, and none of them have been able to do anything against me. So I don't know if Tyson's going to bring the smoke, but Francis has that one-punch knockout power. So we'll see if he can land on Tyson, but it's going to be a big fight.
Your man is no specifically the underdog. You've got maybe 4 professional fighters, UFC fighters. Daniel Dubois, the Englishman, is an underdog. How do you see his chances?
Yeah, look, he's got a bunch of chance, and he's been wanting this moment his whole entire life. He's fought on some high cards before. He's got first round knockouts. So if he can go out there and make the ball, put the pressure on Usyk and come forward and just make it rough, and you know, then I think he has a chance in his later round. Usyk is the cat, it's a hitman, so he's going to be moving on the outside of that time, that speed. So it's going to be tough for the ball to land and make a big shot from him. I think Usyk's going to stop him later in the fight.
We're in the Tuchinski Arena in Wrocław in Poland for the Unified Heavyweight Championship of the World. You're listening to Fight Night Live on talkSPORT, and the rain is really starting to come down now. We've been bathed in sunshine throughout the whole course of the week. Everything that we've done, open workouts, weigh-ins, you name it, has been in 30-degree heat. And it just so happens that the heavens all of a sudden have started to open ahead of tonight's main event. I can start to feel it myself, and I'm under the canopy. You can see that it is just pouring, Gareth, off the canopy onto the people that are on rows 3 and 4. This,
it reminds me,
on the ring walks itself, this could cause a little bit of a trouble.
Absolutely, they don't want to get their boots wet. They'll have thought about this. They'll have bags for their boots. It is sweeping in from a kind of southwesterly direction, I'd say. That's my body compass telling me right now. I'm on. I've been out in that rain. It's not pleasant. It's heavy rain, by the way, already. Now, this reminds me not so much of the tennis courts in California, where myself and Dominic and our techie, Adam Reed, was there. The water was over our shoes that night. Adam was holding a tarpaulin over us, and he put our microphones in plastic bags that night. It's not that bad, but this reminds me more of David Hay and Vladimir Klitschko, where the rain did sweep sideways. It was very slippery. If it is a very slippery ring now, I think it's got too late in proceedings to actually stop the event, but they are moving things around us right now, believe it or not, which is very interesting. No, that's just for the judging, I think. But it could affect the movement of the cat. It could even it up. It could make it a quicker, more explosive fight, because you cannot get footholds on a wet canvas.
Well, this is really interesting, because you just highlighted the fact that they are moving things in and around us. I can see in front of me that they are adjusting the tarpaulin on the side of the ring canvas. Now,
that's because they're changing the canvas. That's what they're doing. They're taking for the main event. They're having a new canvas. They've done that actually when David Hay boxed Klitschko out in Germany, when it was like this as well, actually pouring down with rain. Yep, they're putting on a fresh there's a fresh canvas underneath, so they're lifting that.
In the row behind us right now, if you all look behind, gentlemen, the gear is all covered up in rain covers already. We are just outside the rain. We're so lucky, or inside the canopy. I think it's a great move. I'm glad they thought about it with this thunderstorm predicted.
Interesting. It's never straight sailing, is it?
That's the beauty about this sport. That's the beauty about this sport. It never is. What is it about stadium fights when we have them, a majority of them are in the summer? What is it about stadium fights? Even went to Saudi Arabia and it started hailstoning out there. Never had that in years and years and years. There's something about stadium fights and rain.
I don't know what it is, but obviously it's all about luck. Is it the portent of change tonight, Mr. Adam Catterall?
I love that Chinese proverb that you keep bringing up from the very start of the show. But at the end of the day, yes, there's a storm in the sky. We're hoping that we're going to get a storm once we have these two gladiators in the ring. For those that are just joining us, you are listening to Fight Night Live. We're in Poland this evening for Oleksandr Usyk defending his unified heavyweight championship crown against his #1 mandated challenger with the WBA in Daniel Dubois. Throughout the whole course of the week, we've been building up to this, and you can also consume what we are doing live from Poland. So if you want to see us absolutely getting drenched in the rain and listen to us at the same time, you can head to the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. So with the ring canvas being changed as we speak, Spence, we're probably going to be expecting another 20-25 minute delay before we can get these guys in the ring and the action underway.
Absolutely. Listen, we know that Daniel Dubois is going to be waiting in the ring himself a good 15 minutes, I would say. It's going to be a huge ring walk from Oleksandr Usyk. You know, I think they're going to have something really special lined up because of the occasion, where we're at, what this fight is all about, what this fight week has all been about. Yet the old canvas is now come completely off. Fresh new canvas in there as well. Like I say, I have seen that on occasions before. When you're abroad, especially when a fight of this magnitude, they just need it fresh, want it clean.
Can I just ask you your professional opinion on something, Spence, right? Are my eyes deceiving me? This ring looks small. Is it small? Andy, what's the official on that?
It isn't. It looks like it is, but it's not. I think it's the white canvas, basically. The fact that it's in the middle of the stadium that makes it look small. But I checked, it's 20 feet inside, 24 feet outside. So it's absolutely normal. But that's exactly what I thought when I first saw it.
And the reason why I bring that up is because it would be odd for Oleksandr Usyk to have a tighter ring, which then would obviously allow Daniel Dubois to maybe get his hands on him.
Listen, he's not gone for the biggest ring either, though. Like there is bigger, but he's obviously suited to that sort of size. That would be the size, to get technical now, get really technical, that would be the size ring that he would be training in. So, you know, he will be used to that space, you know, whether that's, you know, some rings at 18 foot, when you get them, like, when you get them small, you can go 22 foot. This is where he's probably comfortable with this size. So, at some point, remember, I think Oleksandr Usyk's going to want to put on a show. Yes, we know that he boxes well from the outside, but he punches and he's very accurate in what he does. And at some point, he's going to want the spectacular finish. You know, I feel that he's maybe thinking with Daniel Dubois, not had the experience at this level, and he'll slowly chip away and look to try and get the job done and done inside the distance. You know, out of his 20 victories, 13 of those have come by the way of stoppage or KO. You know, and that is with a high level, high caliber of fighter. So I think he's going to want to put on a show tonight, and that's probably why he's chose his 20-foot ring and didn't go bigger.
What has Daniel Dubois got to do tonight, Gareth, to have his hand raised and be classed as the unified heavyweight champion?
Start fast, be aggressive, use educated pressure, close the space. It's an impossible dream in lots of ways to do all those things against a master like Usyk. But if he can do it, and anyone's upset by the fact there's rain coming down, he can do it. I hope that he's not going to have to wait too long in the ring for Usyk to make his walk. He's got to let his hands go. He's got to land early. He's got to put Usyk under pressure, and he mustn't allow him momentum. Usyk is a momentum fighter. He's got a great engine. Dubois must make sure that his self-belief grows round by round. Because if it doesn't, and Usyk begins to dominate, I think we'll see the young man's confidence seep away.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I think with Daniel Dubois, it's not even about him, his confidence growing as the rounds go on. He's got to have that attitude where he's going in there and going, I'm not showing this guy respect. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do my fight. I'm going to take my fight. If he starts thinking about what Oleksandr Usyk's going to do, once a fighter's thinking about another fighter, he's always losing. You want your opponent to be thinking about what you're doing. You know, the other stuff that comes back at you, that's instinctive. You slip, you slide, you roll, and whatever. But Daniel Dubois has got to be aggressive tonight. Gareth, you're right, it has to be educated pressure, you're right. But he's got to move his feet into range. And once he gets in there, he's got to make it count. He's got to let the shots go. Forget punching in ones, 1-2s. This kid needs to put the shots together here, 4s and 5s, and just roll the dice, maybe. Like, take it as a 6-round fight, not a 12.
You can tell that we're getting close because Michael Buffer's in the arena and President Volodymyr Zelensky has recorded a message with it being Ukrainian Independence Week this week, and we are about to hear from him.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we have a very special message. We are moments away from our main event, but at this time, your attention, please, as the message comes from the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky.
Hello, Poland. Hello, everyone who are with us now. Tonight, Wrocław will witness something very special. Ukrainians, Brits, Poles, and the whole world. Tonight is the eve of the 550th day since the full-scale Russian invasion has started. And we keep standing, and Ukraine is fighting. Because of the strength you'll see, the strength of our people is mighty as Oleksandr Usyk. The strength of our friends as solid as Daniel Dubois. The strength of our will for victory as powerful as all the help we receive from people of the world which always supports fair battle and not unjustified aggression. I thank each and everyone who are with us tonight and until the victory, Ukraine's victory. And my warmest thanks to you, people of Wrocław and Poland, for standing with us. Glory to Ukraine. Slava Ukraini.
The words of the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressing the crowd here in Wrocław.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. From Wrocław, Polska. Let's get this party started! Now, coming to the ring, from the United Kingdom, Dynamite Daniel Dubois!
Boxing is in my blood. Every round matters. I'm going to leave it all in the ring. I'm coming out for war straight away.
Daniel Dubois is going to knock him down.
He's been a great champion, but it's my time. Everything comes to an end. And the new.
Here comes Daniel Dubois, draped in purple, big smile on his face. He'd already started his ring walk way in advance of the VT finishing. And the reggae tunes blasting around this arena in Poland. In modern day boxing, there are several routes to become world champion. None tougher than what is in front of Daniel Dubois tonight. Is Dubois at this level yet? There's been nothing in his 20-fight professional career so far to suggest that he is, but every great fighter has a moment of realisation, a task they overcome that the majority believe is a step too far. The heavyweight division is littered with upset stories of David beating Goliath. Will we witness a moment like that tonight? Buster Douglas, Oliver McCall, and more recently Andy Ruiz, all have punched their ticket, and if Dubois can emulate them tonight, his achievement might be considered the most shocking of them all. British fighters have done it before. Will Dubois become the 10th to call him heavyweight champion of the world? He looks cool, he looks calm, he looks relaxed as he looks over the top rope right at me, raising his arms to salute his family. He's about to welcome to that ring, though, the unified heavyweight champion of the world.
And now to the ring from Ukraine, Oleksandr Usyk!
Абсолютний чемпіон у першій важкій вазі.
Чемпіон світу у важкій вазі.
А ми воюємо за свою свободу, за свою незалежність і за свою країну.
Олександр Усик, солдат.
Це шоу буде для всіх українців та для всіх моїх фанатів.
Олександр Усик, національний герой нації героїв.
Це час поєдинку.
Слава Усику, слава Україні.
I'm coming for you.
Сили, неподільний край наш, віче так рішило, степовільний вітер, вихором літає, ми ж такі, як вітер,
The camera phones are out in their thousands as the image of Oleksandr Usyk is blasted on the major monitor here at the Tarczyński Arena in Wrocław, Poland. Ukrainian international singer serenading the crowd as we speak right now. Usyk, steely-faced as always, in the bowers of this fantastic stadium, making his way to the top of the ramp. The crowd yet to see their hero in the flesh, but he's about to take that right turn at the top of the ramp that we all made a couple of moments ago, making our way into the arena. Prepare for these decibels to go up a touch as the champion is seen in the flesh for the first time. We might not geographically be in Ukraine, but it feels like we're there. The Tarczyński Stadium in Wrocław, Poland welcomes a hero, a city with many expat Ukrainians now as resident, has just turned the decibel levels up a touch as the main man they've all come to see makes his way to the ring. The Olympic gold medalist, undisputed cruiserweight champion, unified heavyweight champion of the world, is taking a moment just to drink all this in. Even more so tonight, he carries the hopes of his nation. We all recognise him as a pretty phenomenal fighter, but he's also a pretty damn good bloke, subsidising ticket sales tonight to allow many of his fans to attend for a fraction of the regular price. This is actually alien to him. He hasn't fought in front of his own fans since December of 2015. These incredible achievements in professional boxing have all taken place. Scalping champions on away soil. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. It's intimidating. Something from a movie. This modern day Colosseum welcoming their gladiator. Expectations that were all about to be entertained by Maximus Usyk as he just receives his final instructions from the referee. A steely face, a calm face, a man that was absolutely built for these moments. You're listening to talkSPORT. It's Fight Night Live and the unified heavyweight championship of the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we honor the two champions with their respective national anthems. First, the national anthem for the United Kingdom, God Save the King. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a very special guest, Ukrainian singer Elena Omergalieva, who will sing the national anthem for Ukraine. Pani Panovia, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've been waiting for. K2 Promotions and Usyk 17 Promotions, in association with Skill Challenge Promotions, Queensberry Promotions, and Knockout Promotions, is proud to present the main event of the evening, champion versus champion, 12 rounds of boxing for the unified heavyweight championship of the world. It's sponsored by Tarion Group, Mano, and Ready to Fight blockchain boxing platform. Sanctioned by the Polish Boxing Union, along with the IBF, IBO, WBA, and WBO. The three judges at ringside scoring this bout, should it go the distance, from South Africa, Stanley Christodoulou; from Poland, Leszek Jankowiak; and from Poland, Paweł Kardini. The man in charge of the action at the bell, World Championship veteran referee from Puerto Rico, Luis Pabon. And now, the officials are ready, the fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing purple and black, official weight 105.8 kilograms or 223.2 pounds. His professional record, an outstanding one. 20 fights, 19 victories, including 18 of those 19 wins by knockout with only one defeat. He's the former Commonwealth champion, former WBC silver belt champion, former WBO international champion. From London, United Kingdom, the reigning and defending WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Dynamite, Daniel Dubois. And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white and officially weighing in at 100.2 kilograms or 220.9 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one. 20 fights, 20 victories, 13 big wins by knockout. He is the former undisputed, undefeated cruiserweight world champion, fighting out of and fighting for the people of Ukraine, presenting the reigning, defending, undefeated, unified IBF, IBO, WBA, WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Oleksandr Usyk.
You're listening to Fight Night Live on talkSPORT. Just a slight pause as Oleksandr Usyk takes his final instructions and greets the members of his team as they leave the ring. Don Charles, the head corner of Daniel Dubois, issuing his final instructions to his charge this evening. A big night on talkSPORT. The referee just trying to quicken everybody up in order to move their way out of this boxing ring here in Poland, as Oleksandr Usyk does turn around to be greeted by the referee.
Okay, guys, I give you instruction in the dressing room. They're having a clean match, okay? Good luck, no pressure.
Steely glare from Usyk. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Something tells me we're about to bring you some serious chaos. Hold on to your hats. It's heavyweight boxing on heavyweight radio. This is talkSPORT calling you through Usyk versus Dubois for the unified heavyweight championship of the world. It's Spencer Oliver, but first, Andy Clark.
So there goes the bell, and across the ring immediately comes Daniel Dubois in the purple and black. Usyk in the white, setting up in that left-handed stance, the southpaw stance. Dubois just eats a jab there as he tries to shuffle his feet into range in the centre of the ring. Usyk tattooed around the shoulders and forearms, hair shaved tight at the front and back, the tendrils of that moustache just stretching below the corners of the mouth towards the chin. In Western gunslinging fashion, Dubois just trying to get his own jab going. It's parried by Usyk, but the one before that did manage to make some contact. They're right on top of each other in the middle of the ring, within punching range. Usyk just dipping to his right-hand side. Dubois throwing a couple of feints and then trying to climb into a lead left hook. He is looking aggressive in the early stages here, Spencer, Dubois, but he's not being reckless. He can't be.
He's doing the right thing at the moment. He's just holding the centre of the ring. He's trying to put Usyk on the back foot, but Oleksandr Usyk doing what he does best. He's that boxing out that southpaw stance. He's setting the traps, feinting the jabs to the body, then coming over the top. Good even start here, but Dubois looking like he's holding his own.
Nice jab there from Usyk. He was just waving that lead hand, right-hand side of the ring, distracting, dropped it and then shot it up, just changing the angle of the attack, changing the trajectory. Dubois gets inside and then throws a right hand into the body, tried to go up top, but Usyk just looking like he might be finding his range with that jab a little bit. He tip-taps with some punches and then really looks to sink them in, dipping those knees, just adjusting the height of the attack. Dubois, though, pivoting around that front foot, centre ring, looking to try and just shovel a big right hand through the middle of the guard. Usyk working in that tight circle. He's on top of you always, again, just darting in with the jab, and he is beginning to find a home for it, Spencer, as he backs Dubois up to the ropes.
Yep, starting to put Daniel Dubois on the back rope, the back foot now. Dubois needs to get off of his shots first. He's allowing Usyk to pop the jab out. He's throwing the jabs to the body, and he's starting to get into some sort of rhythm. Daniel needs to take the play away from him early here as he lets a right hand go around the side.
But there was a decent uppercut from Dubois about 20 or so seconds ago, just off the angle. He got up through the forearms and it seemed to make a little bit of an impact on Usyk. Dubois again trying to just curl that right hand in round the back of the guard. These two have inhabited centre ring for almost the entire of this opening round. And Dubois has made a decent start here in my book. Usyk is looking to try and dictate terms here, but Dubois is holding his ground. He's holding those feet. He's looking to work those gloves when he can. Again, just rolling the shoulders, right hand cocked, ready to go. Hasn't really thrown it just yet as the bell goes at the end of the first.
Yeah, good confident start there from Daniel Dubois. He'd be glad he got that round under his belt. He had his moments in there, letting a couple of right hands go round the side. Needed to get off with the shots maybe a little earlier there, Daniel. Allowed Usyk to pop the jab out, but he done very well. You know, that was the sort of confidence builder he needed. He got in range, he let the shots go. Now he needs to build on that. Don Charles is giving him a good talking to in the corner. He'll now need to let those jabs go and step in with the right hands, because the right hand is the key shot for a southpaw.
That's absolutely right, because what we've seen Usyk do throughout his whole career is build into the fight incrementally. He won that round with the jab, but he'll look to turn up that temperature, raise that heat round by round by round, and Dubois has got to try and go with him. Don Charles just giving him a drink in that red corner away to our right-hand side. James Ali Bashir, former trainer of Usyk, just leaning in, his head between the ropes as Usyk corner vacates. Lewis Pabon pushing these two apart, waiting for Don Charles to slide through the ropes away to our right, and then ushers them in to box. And Dubois, again, just looking to try and let go with that jab. He can't be too distracted by the lead hand of Usyk. He gets through there, through the guard, but he's taking those okay. But a good solid jab, well, as we know, that is the fundamental that everything else can work off. Dubois there just coming forward with his lead foot and tried to lead off with a left hook. He didn't quite land it. Usyk just dabbing in his forehead, and again just looks for the jab. Not too much power on that one, but he got through. He's got to remain focused on the target in front of him, Dubois. If he can just feel something on the end of his fist as he does there, it was taken on the glove, that right hand, but if he can feel something on the end of those knuckles, whether it's shoulders, whether it's forearms, whether it's waist, whether it's even below that, it will give him some confidence. A little feint there from Dubois, centering, and Usyk again just teasing with the jab. Dubois steps in, left hand, that Usyk felt was low, but he's just got to throw whatever he can.
Yeah, absolutely. He's doing the right thing here, Daniel Dubois. He's not overruled by this occasion, that's for sure. He's holding the centre of the ring, and he tried to switch the attacks to the body. That's what we thought he was doing.
Good strong left hand there from Usyk, and that was a problem for the Dubois. Momentarily, you just saw the knees buckle a little bit there. He just dipped to his right-hand side, through that southpaw left, straight down the middle, and it connected pretty much right on the bottom there of Dubois, but he's taken it. Usyk, though, looking to try and turn the heat up in this second round. He's got to just hold his technique together here, Dubois. Right-hand side of the ring, looks to lead off with the right hand, which can be a little bit dangerous. The jab came back from Usyk, who again just skips those feet into range and pins that left hand straight down the middle. Just over a minute remaining in round 2.
Yeah, another good left hand through the middle there, and Daniel Dubois is actually feeling the weight in these. You just see him dipping at the knees. Usyk starting to get into a rhythm, but Dubois trying to go with him, but just coming off second best at the moment.
Dubois again just looking to try and let that right hand go. He's got to try and stay as loose as he can. That's where the power will come from. I think he just turned from the waist and just let that slippery right hand slide out. If he gets too tight, then really you just strangle your own power at source. Right hand on the inside there. Decent uppercut from Dubois as he was turning left side of the ring. That was neatly timed. Usyk goes straight back on the jab. Double jab left hand as he pushes Dubois back towards the ropes, towards the right-hand side of the ring, into the final 15 seconds, but I do think that Usyk felt that one. He didn't give any kind of big reaction to it, but he will know that Daniel Dubois, well, he's called Dynamite Daniel Dubois for a reason, because he has got some pop in those 10-ounce gloves. Bell goes, and Dubois just walking back to that red corner. He will take a seat, and we will have a listen.
That's much better. Yeah, water, please. That's much better. Yeah. Yeah?
Relax, relax.
Don't let him tap away. Disturb his rhythm. You hear me? Yeah. That was a better round. I want more. That body's crying up for it. Yeah. Touch him off it. Drive it. Yeah. Okay? I'll throw a left behind it after that, okay? Good man.
You're doing good, son. You're doing good. Back him up.
Yeah. When he's coming to you, Dan. When he's coming to you, straight right, left of body. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Straight right, left of body. Yeah? Have a water. Come on, son. Come on, we got this in now. Don't let him pull away. That was a better round. I want even a better round this time. Okay?
And Don Charles there really just echoing what we were saying before the start of the previous round. He's got to go with Usyk. He cannot let him pull away. But there were encouraging signs there towards the end of the round. They're just trying to get that little bit of belief into their man there. And just saying, also, don't be distracted by that lead hand. Don't let him tip-tap as we head into the start of the third round. Dubois just trying to step in with his right foot and let that left hand go. Usyk going counterclockwise. Sometimes he's moving left, sometimes he's moving right. Difficult to know exactly what direction he's going to go in. At times it's like watching a slightly out of whack pendulum. You feel like you should know what's about to happen, but just when you feel like you do, you can't quite read it. The rain absolutely teeming down around the arena now. Mist kind of shrouding ringside. The sweat and steam coming off these two. Usyk trying to hook off the jab. Dubois just dipped his knees and goes down to the body. Do we need more of that?
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to throw his hands when Usyk is throwing his. Usyk gets off with a good left hand through the middle, but Dubois doing the right thing here. He's showing adaptability, and that was important. As I say that, Usyk puts Dubois in the corner, lands another good left hand.
He can't keep taking those left hands, you wouldn't have thought, but he landed a couple there, and Dubois didn't really show too many ill effects of it. A left hand straight down the pipe, and Luis Pabon just stopping the action, asking Usyk if he's okay. Just having a quick word with Daniel Dubois about a low blow there. Dubois doesn't want to be worrying about that too much. Pabon, an enormously experienced referee. We saw him for the rematch between AJ and Usyk last August, and also for the rematch between AJ and Andy Ruiz. Usyk trying to get that jab working again. Just over a minute remaining in round 3. Dubois popping off a right hand lead. Hasn't done all that much in this round so far, but Usyk, interestingly, Spencer, hasn't done quite as much either. Nice looking jab there from Dubois.
Yeah, Dubois doing the right thing here. He's coming over Usyk's jab with his own jab, which is the right thing to do against the southpaw. He's showing variety in his works. Just missed the whiskers of Usyk there with the uppercut. But Dubois having a better round here.
45 seconds remaining. Usyk trying to get more busy towards the end of the round. He did land a couple of neat-looking left hands, and he's winning this round as he won rounds 1 and 2. But I think that he does respect the power of Daniel Dubois. He'll have felt it in there. The uppercut, as I say earlier on, I think demanded his attention. It didn't really hurt him, but it got his attention as he just tries to back Dubois up on the ropes right above us. Dubois just backpedaling. Usyk on the borderline of range there again, just dips those knees, drops his hands and brings them back up to the head, exposing that body that Don Charles was talking about. And then again just fences through with a neat looking jab there. Usyk, that lead hand is like a magic wand at times. It's distracting, it's bemusing. Dubois trying to rip up with an uppercut in the last few seconds of the round. 3 down, gentlemen.
Wow, the energy in the room is absolutely sensational. I've got a fear that Daniel Dubois is in 5th gear right now, and he's going at a really, really fast pace. That extra conditioning that he's done, which has shown him coming a little bit lighter, is that going to hold him in good stead if this fight progresses? Usyk, listen, Usyk's doing Usyk things at the moment, Gareth. I'm a little bit worried about the pace that Daniel Dubois is going. But he's not winning rounds at the moment.
And it doesn't matter. He's putting Usyk under pressure. He's doing the game plan he must do. I like the fact he listened to Don Charles. Big right, left hook, go to the body. He's doing really well, but he's starting to blow a little bit. He's starting to fatigue. Couple more rounds of these attacks. Usyk doesn't like it up him. There's no doubt about it. It is a fascinating 9 minutes we've had so far.
Yep, tactically, he's got it right. Daniel Dubois is working the body. Here we go, round 4.
You're listening to Fight Night Live on talkSPORT in partnership with William Hill. It's who you play with. So into the 4th. Dubois with that traditional on-guard position that he holds himself in, gloves pretty much up by that jawline at all times. Triple D etched into the back of them. He marauded forward there on the right-hand side of the ring, letting his hands go, but Usyk just slipped around the side and now just lands that trusty jab once more, stepping off to his right-hand side there, the Ukrainian. Just pushes out the lead hand, dips in with the front foot. He's always adjusting the space between himself and his opponent. He's so clever with that back foot and the front foot. He makes himself look like he's further away than he is, or nearer than he is, when actually he's exactly where he's always been. Again, looking to try and use that right hand there, Usyk, and Dubois has got to try as much as he can, Spencer, here, just to force Usyk out of this rhythm, will not let him settle in quite the way he is here. It's easy for me to say, but he has to.
Yeah, he has to. He's got to let his hands go. As Usyk lets his go, he's peppering away with that jab. And that left eye of Daniel Dubois now, he's starting to swell slightly. And that's from that constant pushing of the right hand. Usyk's starting to find the rhythm. He's found the range. Dubois needs to let his hands go a bit more.
Right hand into the body there from Dubois. Usyk, as I said, he works in this inner clock face. He's tight on you. Borderline of range at the furthest at all times. Good right hand on the inside there though from Dubois as these two just circle each other in the centre of the ring. Usyk leads off with that left hand. Again, he just varies up the power. There's nothing on some of these punches, but there's plenty on others. Dubois looked for the left hook there, but the right glove of Usyk was in place just to smother it. Right hand into the body there from Dubois brings a scream of delight from Don Charles, and that Dubois corner away to our right, but Usyk there again just exploding up from the waist with the jab that side into the eye line. Dubois though answering with the 1-2, and he's being a little bit more expansive towards the end of the 4th here.
Yep, just starting to find a range with the right hand here. Dubois lands a good left hook as well, having a good little spell here in the 4th round. He's growing in confidence, and I'll tell you what, he's done what a lot of people couldn't do, and he's going in these rounds, he's staying in them. Yes, Usyk's winning them, but Dubois is pushing him all the way here.
He's looking for the right hand again there, Dubois. The jab gets through from Usyk. It doesn't seem to be too much he can do to stop it at times, but it's not doing all that much damage. Usyk has thrown it in singles a lot of the time and often hasn't really followed it up with that long left hand. But as we've been saying, he's winning these rounds. Dubois is making them competitive. He's having his say. But it's 4-0 Usyk as we get to the end of that fourth round as he makes his way back to the corner.
Yeah, another good round there for Oleksandr Usyk. He's working well off the jab, but Dubois was having his moments as well. He was landing some good shots. It was a lot closer round, and I tell you what, Andy, Daniel Dubois getting in range of that right hand. Now what he's got to do, he's got to let the left hook, right hand go again. He needs to put these punches in bunches. Singles don't work with Usyk, but Dubois is doing better than a lot of people thought he would right now.
You're listening to Fight Night Live on talkSPORT from a rainy Tarczynski Arena in Poland, in Wrocław. We're heading into round 5. This is the main event. Oleksandr Usyk against Daniel Dubois for the WBA, IBF and WBO World Heavyweight titles. Usyk just rising from his stool, far side of the ring, just a few feet away from his great friend and former Olympic colleague Vasily Lomachenko, who is in attendance here tonight. Their other old teammate, Denis Berinchik, was in action earlier on, that supersonic Ukrainian team from London 2012. Dubois just trying to lead off with that jab. First 20 seconds or so of round 5. Good right hand, but that was low. And you can see that it has hurt Usyk because he is now onto his backside, leaning on his back against the bottom rope. That right hand went in low. I didn't get a good look at it from my angle, I must admit. I'm sure we'll see it again, but the crowd are booing as soon as it landed. You could see the pain on Usyk. His back was to us, about 3 or 4 feet in from the ropes on this near side that we're sat on. He wheeled around. You could see the grimace on his face. He went down onto his backside, and then in the end, just lay with the back of his neck on the top of that bottom rope, and he's struggling here. He is struggling here. You can be given as much as 5 minutes to recover from a low blow, but that was a serious shot there from Dubois. We still haven't seen a replay of it. I don't think anybody is questioning the legitimacy of the call there from the referee. Dubois certainly is, and he just tries to get up there, Usyk, and then thinks better of it and goes back down again, resting his left hand on the bottom rope. And the referee just reminding him here, Luis Pabon, that he has got 5 minutes. That is a long time, and he's just saying to the officials on the far side there, Luis Pabon, as well, that that was not an intentional foul. It was an accidental low blow. Usyk getting back to his feet to great cheers from the crowd, and you know better than anybody, any of us, Spencer, what that feels like.
Absolutely. Listen, if he's landed in the wrong place, I need to see that in slow-mo, actually, because it seems to have really affected Oleksandr Usyk. I need to see where that shot landed, but let me tell you, if it's a low blow and it's a legitimate one, like we think it is, that is so painful. 5 minutes may sound like a long time, but it's not a long time. But I tell you what it will also do, it will give you Daniel Dubois added confidence. Now, that weren't that low, that was a body shot. I'm telling you, I looked at that, that was on the waistline, them shorts were high. I'm not sure that was low.
Well, that's interesting. It's interesting when you watch it again, because it was just about on the belt line, maybe a little bit south. But it depends on the instructions that the referee have given them in the changing room before the fight, because he didn't issue them when they came to the centre of the ring. The referee will look at where the belt line is, and he will tell fighters what is okay and what is not okay. Sometimes he will say, belt line is good, anything below is no good. Ross Amber in the Usyk corner just getting up there onto the apron. He's very, very unhappy.
Listen. Take your time. Okay, no.
Luis Pabon just telling him to take his time. And this is good, experienced refereeing. He's calling the two of them to the centre of the ring. Usyk's corner are telling him just to take every single second he can. That's good experience work from them as well, because no matter how many fights that Oleksandr Usyk has had, amateur and pro, I've never seen this happen to him before. And the warrior spirit, Luis Pabon telling him that it's 1 minute, the warrior spirit and the pride that you all have dictates that you get back up and back in there sometimes sooner than you should.
Absolutely. Listen, I've looked at that on slow-mo. I'm telling you now, that waistline, the borderline that we're talking about, is high up, way up past the stomach by the belly button. That shot was not low, that was borderline. It wasn't low. That's worrying signs there, because one of the weaknesses we know and we've seen of Oleksandr Usyk.
Clean fight or disqualification? Look at me, okay? Clean fight, okay?
Okay, so the referee just getting them to touch gloves, and away we go. But the reaction of Usyk was interesting, because the reaction was absolutely of a man who'd been hit low. Dubois just climbing in now, lands a jab, goes for the right hand to the body. Usyk giving ground on the far side, and Dubois can sense that the Ukrainian is vulnerable here, and this could be the British fighter's chance. He's got just over 2 minutes remaining in round 5. All is not well with Usyk still. He hasn't recovered. Dubois has got to put his foot on the gas here. This could be it. This could be the opportunity, and he has got to try and take it. Tries to lead off with that left hook. Usyk creeps in with his front foot, trying to get his own jab working. But Spencer, Dubois has got to go for it here.
He knows his heart, Oleksandr Usyk. He knows he's hurting to the body. He would have known himself that that shot wouldn't have went low. He would have felt where it landed. And I've got to say, the pattern of this fight has changed dramatically. Usyk doesn't look comfortable in there right now.
But the longer he gets to recover, if he could just ride out the rest of this round, Usyk, get that minute, then the recovery will continue. Right hand again there from Dubois, was pretty much on the belt line. Usyk complaining that it was low. Luis Pabon kind of agrees with him, but allows the action to continue. One thing I would say is that the reaction of Usyk to that low blow, as adjudged by the referee, was exactly what you'd expect from someone who has been hit low. Usyk again just waving that lead right hand. Dubois looking for the right, didn't quite manage to land it. Just over a minute remaining in round 5, and there is a tension and electricity around ringside now that we have not had in this fight up until this point. Usyk though lands with a lead right hook. Dubois tries to fire back on the inside with the uppercut.
Yeah, Dubois wants to go with him here. Usyk's popping out with a jab. They're both standing toe-to-toe. Dangerous game here from Oleksandr Usyk with Dubois. Looks like he wants to trade with him.
Usyk looking for that long left hand, and connects with a big left hand, but Dubois moving away to his left-hand side, took it. That was a big shot from Usyk, but he managed to ride it there, Daniel Dubois. Final 30 seconds of round 5, a grimace there from Usyk, just sucking the air in, sucking his teeth. I don't think he's happy with his opponent. I don't think he's happy at all, and he wants to punish him. Left hand there from Usyk, and he seems recovered now as we get towards the end of round 5, but this has been dramatic in the extreme, thanks to that low blow, as it was called by referee Luis Pabon. Left hand again there from Usyk lands, followed by the jab. Left hand a little bit late from Usyk, followed up with a right from Dubois, and the corner of Usyk throw water at Dubois, and they get into the ring. They are absolutely fuming. Let's get into Dubois' corner.
It's okay, Ian, it's okay. You're doing a great job out there, son. Keep it up. You know, this is ours, you know. Yeah? Yeah. You've gotten where we wanted you now. Keep hitting that body. He doesn't like it. He's not, you know that. Okay? Yeah. Keep the head off the line. Do me a favor.
Please, don't throw this opportunity.
Yeah.
Don't forget that, man.
Right. Keep going to your left. Okay. Keep going to your left. Switch on. Switch on, please.
Well, the referee just coming over and having a word there in the Dubois corner between rounds as well. And we've got a fight on our hands now into round 6. Usyk quickly off this stool. He would have had another minute to recover there. It seemed to me towards the end of the round like he got his legs back underneath him, and he had indeed recovered from that low blow. But Don Charles, you heard him saying to Dubois, go to the body, we have got him where we want him, and Dubois has got to believe here, he's got to be aggressive. He's lost these rounds, he lost that last round as well by my reckoning, even though it was his best of the fight so far, but it was by far the most encouraging one that he's had. Just backed up to his own red corner here, Dubois, popping out with that lead hand, trying to find a home for the right. But the jab comes back from Usyk, who towards the end of that previous round was happy to hold his feet and really let his hands go, because I get the feeling he wants to hurt Daniel Dubois in there. But Spencer, if he's happy to do that, that gives the Brit his best chance.
Yeah, absolutely. He's trying to take the play away from Daniel Dubois again, because I actually thought he won the 5th round, Daniel Dubois, and Usyk needs to take that play away from him. But in doing that, he's gambling, because if Daniel Dubois is still trading with him here, tense moments.
Usyk just looking for the jab. Again, Dubois just moving towards that Usyk blue corner. He doesn't want to get manoeuvred around the ring too much by this cossack wizard. The crowd just demanding a little bit more from Usyk here. Dubois manages to slip the jab quite nicely. The next one got through, but again he looks to go down to the body. There was nothing wrong with that, and you can see the reaction from Usyk, who just pulled those feet out, pulled that waist out as well to try and avoid it. He knows that he's tender down there now, just over a minute remaining in round 6. Right hand again there. Usyk feels that that's low, but it's on the belt line. It is on the belt line. It's around about the hip, and that can take your legs away. This is good from Dubois. That's absolutely what he needs to do. Keep throwing them and let the referee worry about where they land.
Yeah, tactically got it spot on here, Daniel Dubois. He's throwing those right hooks to the body. Usyk doesn't like it. Dubois goes again with a right hand to the head. He's doing well in this contest, Dubois. Maybe behind on points, but Usyk starting to get hit more.
40 seconds remaining in round 6. We're almost at the halfway stage. Usyk with a lovely bit of footwork there, stepped off to his right-hand side and then threw that right hand in off the angle. Dubois trying to keep that head on the move, just adjusts the position of his back foot, gives himself a little bit more room before turning away to his left. Again, they're pretty much in the centre of the ring here. Most of this fight has been fought, as I said, in that inner glute face. Dubois trying to plant that jab and follow it with the right hand as Olszewski Arena just looks to really get behind Oleksandr Usyk. They sense that maybe he needs them now as he looks to try and finish the round strong.
Yeah, another good round there, and Daniel Dubois doing well.
Listen, he is doing well, and he's most certainly impressed me. One thing that I had coming into this fight was a question as to whether he had the stones for this, and I tell you what, he is rolling it and he's having a go. He's not losing focus, and he's chopping away at that tree, and fair play, he's making this a fight.
Absolutely, self-belief is there, it's so obvious. And you know what's also there with Daniel Dubois right now? Engine. He's not gassing, his arms don't look fatigued. He's listening to Don Charles in the corner, who I've got to say has been magnificent tonight. Oleksandr Usyk does not like it to the body. We've talked about that weakness. Those punches put him down in the amateurs to the body. This is a terrific, exciting, thrilling contest. It's one way on the cards for Oleksandr Usyk, but anything could happen in the next 3 rounds.
You're listening to Fight Night live on talkSPORT from the talkSPORT Arena here in Poland, and this is the main event. We're into the second half of the fight, the start of round 7 between unified world heavyweight champion Oleksandr Usyk and the challenger from Britain, Dynamite Daniel Dubois. And Usyk starting this 7th round in belligerent fashion, swinging a big lead right hook and some moisture, sweat and humidity just spraying off the head there of Daniel Dubois. Usyk again just easing into range as Dubois himself came forward. The heads kind of rubbed together a little bit on the inside there. Luis Pabon's got to keep his eye on this one. It could get a little bit interesting for the official. Dubois caught by a lead right hook there. He threw his own jab and brought it back a little bit low and slow. And Usyk is exactly the kind of guy who can capitalise on that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Daniel Dubois has got to keep his focus here. He can't take his foot off the gas. He needs to make Usyk work, push him on the back foot, keep those shots going. Started this 7th round not throwing anything, and Usyk's peppering away with a jab. Dubois needs to do some work.
Right on cue, he just looks at the jab there. Dubois dips his knees and tries to rip down to the body. Couldn't quite land that one, but does land the jab, then a nice right into the midriff there from Dubois. Just backs Usyk up into the neutral corner with a nimble bit of footwork. Sees him just choreograph his way out and back into the open canvas of centre ring. Usyk, though, being made to work hard here, looks for the hook and then the uppercut, doesn't quite manage to land it. That straight right hand right into the breadbasket. That was a good shot there from Dubois, but he falls short with the right hand and almost gets punished on the counter.
Yeah, good work from Dubois there to the body. That's where he needs to focus attacks. Slow the feet down of Oleksandr Usyk. And Dubois showing he's got a lot more to his game than we previously thought. He stepped up here, Daniel Dubois.
Good long left hand there from Usyk, though. I agree with that. But on the cards, it'll be Usyk with a healthy lead. Good left hand there from Usyk. He's winning these rounds, and Dubois before too long will be into territory where he absolutely will need knockdowns, or really the knockout. Good jab again there from Usyk, and then throws a left hand from low down on the waist. And again there, just trying to get it in round the back of the guard. He landed a couple of those, and Dubois is in a little bit of trouble here as we head into the final 30 seconds of the round. Usyk looking to tee off. Right hand didn't quite land. Left hand down the centre, almost did, and this is stormy waters here for Dubois. He's just got to try and ride these out until the end of the round, get back in that corner. But Usyk, as we know he can, as the rounds are clicking by here, he is looking to try and turn the screw. Another good left hand from Usyk, lands right at the end of the round, and he took some stick towards the end of that seventh there, Spencer.
Yeah, he just turned the screw there, didn't he, Oleksandr Usyk? He went up a gear. That's what he does. He's just, when you think that he may be slowing down a little bit, he turns it up. That's what greatness does. Daniel Dubois was struggling to stay with him there in the second half of that round. Great round for Usyk.
But he's got great survival instincts, and we're seeing it tonight. He's ducking out of the way. I'm really impressed with Daniel Dubois' head movement tonight, by the way. He's never a static target. His instinct to hide, he can still do this. Every time he goes to the body, he depletes Usyk. I've been only given him one round out of the 7 or 8 so far, but it's a terrific performance and a brilliant, thrilling fight, Spencer Oliver.
Absolutely. Listen, I think what we found out about Daniel Dubois tonight, win or lose, he belongs at this level. He's shown that he can compete at this level.
Well, big hello to everybody watching us on YouTube. If you're not, then you can watch it along with us. Head to the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel where we are live, and you can decide for yourselves who amongst us really does have a face for radio. Usyk just looking for that left hand down the centre right at the start of the round again there. He's looking to raise the temperature, but he walks onto a strong right hand from Dubois, who sets his front foot and looks to wing with the right hand into the body. I think the corner will have told him, they will have told Dubois that Usyk's looking to try and really take over here and click through the gears, and you cannot let him. You cannot let him.
Yeah, you can just see Dubois marking up a little bit here, but he's showing that he's got the minerals. He's pushing forward, biting down on his gum shield, something we didn't know Daniel Dubois could do. He's making Usyk work. Usyk in control, but Dubois is making him work.
Centre in these two. Usyk just tapping with the lead hand, shuffled off to his right, sent the left hand down the middle. He's always looking for that change of angle. It's a battle of geometry when you're up against Usyk as much as anything else. Just rattled off a combination there, but Dubois did a pretty good job of staying out of the way of most of that. He's got that back foot planted just inside the ropes on the left-hand side, goes down to the body again there. And Usyk managed to take that one okay. That huge drama we had, of course, in the 5th when he went down for a long spell, the full 5 minutes pretty much, after Luis Pavón had judged him to have been hit low by Dubois. And since then, things at times have got quite interesting. Dubois trying to keep that confidence. The right hand there again, pretty much bang on the belt line. Usyk just dipping those knees, throwing those feints, not really putting his foot to the floor in this round in the way that we thought he might.
No, just trying to set the traps here is Oleksandr Usyk. He's just seeing what Daniel Dubois has got left, but Dubois holding his own, staying in the centre of the ring. The mouth now coming open of Daniel Dubois, but he's showing incredible courage in there to be staying with Usyk. And as Gareth A. Davis said, he's still got a shot in there right now.
45 seconds remaining in round 8. Usyk with those small movements, just shuffling to his right-hand side, but Dubois has held his boxing together well here. Nice jab there from Dubois, planted that one up from the waist, and looks for that right. Swapping jabs, the pair of them, as we hit the final stages of round 8. And this was where it got rough with Dubois in the previous round, and Usyk is looking to try and put the pressure on him again, but Dubois fights him off on that occasion. I think he knew what the Ukrainian was up to there. He wanted to put his foot on the gas and get some work, some damage inflicted in the final few seconds. And Dubois does catch 2 or 3 clean shots, and down he goes to a knee right at the end of the round. He just needs to Dubois, but I was very worried there for a second. I really was, but he was looking at the corner, he was waiting for the signal. Let's get in there and have a listen.
What was that? Was it a shot? How you feeling, bro? Talk to me. Where did you get hit? Is it a headshot? Huh? Yeah. Right. How we feeling? Talk to me. How we feeling? Right. Don't let that happen again. Keep your hands up, all right? You're sleeping nicely, but stay compact, okay? You're in this fight, you know. Don't throw it away. You're in it.
Keep believing, Daniel.
Wake up. Right? I want a good round. Lemon. If you can't punch, hold. If you can't punch, hold. So let's work that body some more. Come on. We are in this fight.
Keep believing, Daniel.
Well, Don Charles just telling Daniel Dubois there are no uncertain terms, really. You cannot give up on this now. I thought he might just stay on the knee there, Dubois. He was looking at his corner as the bell goes for the start of another round. Don Charles asking him whether he was okay, needing some communication, and just telling him, listen, you've got to stick with this. You've got to keep going. You've still got a chance here. Short right hand there from Dubois, and that was good corner work, Spencer, because Dubois just looked like he might be beginning to contemplate the end. Don Charles would not have it.
Yeah, he was thinking about it there. Trust me, I could see with Daniel Dubois. Don Charles done a great job pulling him out, but Usyk again stepping on it. Dubois throwing shots back, but Usyk in complete control here.
And Usyk looking to really turn the screw early in the round here, and Dubois is going to have to dig deep to get through this one, you feel. Left hand into the body there from Dubois, but Usyk knows that he's got his man in trouble. He smells blood here, and like the apex predator shark he is closing in. Dubois with a little bit of blood coming from the end of the nose. A jab just connects with the forehead there of Dubois. Usyk with a neat combination. The right hand landed, the left hand on the inside. They're looking closely in the corner. Dubois looking to try and throw a right. That was a decent combination, two-punch combination, but Usyk almost smiles at him and looks to try and beckon him in.
Yeah, Usyk just keeping a distance here. He's starting to pick the shots.
Lead right hand there from Usyk, and down goes Dubois. And the referee is counting again. And he's got to 6, 7. He looked at the corner, 8, 9. And he stayed down there, Daniel Dubois. He gets up on 9.5. And the fight is over. Usyk sinks down to the canvas, gives thanks to his God, and then with a big smile gets back to his feet nice and quickly, embracing his corner team on the left-hand side of the ring. Dubois, meanwhile, taken back to the red corner. The stool is being pulled in. Don Charles just wants to get him sat down. And as ever, the boxing ring, when you've got victory and defeat in such close proximity to each other, it is a squared circle of such wildly contrasting emotions. Lewis Pavon just having a chat with Usyk there, no doubt about that low blow from earlier in the fight. Don Charles has just got his hand on the head there of Daniel Dubois, just consoling his man, consoling his fighter. He was put down there, Spencer, with what looked to me like a good stick, lead right hand, a jab. He went down, he was looking at the corner, and you just got the feeling that this time he wasn't quite going to make it.
Yep, Usyk does what he does best. He chips away, he slowly stills the soul of his opponent. And that's exactly what he done in there today. Daniel Dubois was having his moments, but as you was saying in the fight, Andy, he was never winning the rounds. You know, he was having minor successes. The low blow, by the way, wasn't a low blow. We know that's where he's vulnerable, Oleksandr Usyk. And Daniel Dubois' team knew that. They come, they give it a great go, but ultimately Usyk showed why he is one of the best fighters on the planet tonight.
And Usyk comes over to the Dubois corner and offers his hand there to Dubois. They touch gloves. He touched gloves with everybody else in the corner as well. But there's something quite strange going on here, because as a member of Team Usyk with a top knot and an earring and a beard, just having a look at him from across the ring, and has been for the last minute or so, just eyeballing Dubois. But Usyk, well, let's have a listen.
You can breathe. Man, dude. Relax, man.
It's boxing. It's tough sport, brother. Thank you.
Well, it's fascinating. Oleksandr Usyk telling him that he can be a world champion. It's only boxing. You're tough. You can do this. I tell you what we saw tonight, and none of you have said this yet. We are beginning to see Oleksandr Usyk age. I know he dominated in boxing terms, but he's going to fight younger and younger champions.
Yeah, no, listen, I think what we saw there was someone come with a great game plan. We know that the one area...
And youth and strength.
He's not aging there, mate. He weren't aging.
But youth and strength.
Yeah, no, it was the body work he didn't like. Yes, youth and strength played a part for Daniel Dubois in there, but he didn't have the technical boxing ability. But what he did do, Dubois, is have the right game plan. He landed a legitimate body shot. I don't care what anyone says. The shot was legitimate, and Usyk didn't like it. And that's where he's...
So was Dubois robbed in a way then? Because they got 5 minutes there just to recover.
No, it's called boxing. These things happen, you know. The referee made the decision. You know, we saw it, watching it on the monitors. The shot landed on the borderline.
It did.
The fighters have their shots more or less underneath their chest. It's not below their belly button.
It's amazing though, isn't it?
It absolutely is. He's done it for the Ukrainian people. We've got 45,000 of them in here today supporting their man, their hero, and he got a job done.
The hardcore music has just kicked off, and Oleksandr Usyk is doing what he was doing a little earlier on in the week at the open workout, and having a little bit of a dance and an embrace with many of his friends and family that have joined us in the ring. He's just having a quick chat with his friend and manager Igis Klimas, where Daniel Dubois is just declubbing at the moment, conversing with his team. Martin Bauer's in there, his manager too. As Andy pointed out in commentary, we don't know what the instruction was from the referee regarding the belt line. The shot was on the belt line. It was on the belt line, but we don't know what the instruction was from the referee as to what was law.
Yeah, but we also, I think we have to be careful. I mean, I was just saying Dubois was robbed of those 5 minutes. We have to be careful about, I suppose, being too critical of Oleksandr Usyk. He's a man with huge stones at the end of the day. He clearly was hurt in that area at the time. Anyway, as it goes mad in here.
He's just turned the place into a nightclub.
The whole of Wrocław will be a nightclub tonight, my friends.
Yeah, he is having a party up there with his whole team, doing what he's done actually in the open workouts. The crowd here are absolutely loving it. Usyk got the job done, still heavyweight champion of the world. Great effort there by Daniel Dubois in confident tactics, showed where Usyk's sweet spots are, and he gave it a real go. But the champion come through and done what he does best.
And let's see Fury and Usyk now early next year. I'm starting to get very excited about that one, Adam.
Oh, listen, I've been excited about it for 3 years. Fingers crossed we get to the opportunity to see that fight. Spence, just a quick word on Daniel Dubois, because coming into this fight we were talking about the magnitude of what faced him. Oleksandr Usyk is a modern-day great. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind about that. And Daniel Dubois had never been at this level. He'd never even tasted this level. When he had stepped up in the past against Joyce, he'd fallen short. There's a lot to be proud of tonight, because not only has he shown he can implement a game plan, he can stick to a game plan, he also showed a lot of heart and determination. And okay, it rattled at the end, it absolutely did. But he showed during moments of that fight that he has what it takes to go all the way. And as Oleksandr Usyk reminded him right at the end there, you're 25, 26 years of age, mate. You've plenty of time. He will learn so much from that dance this evening.
Oleksandr Usyk's got 10 years on him. He's 26 years of age. That was a good performance, Daniel Dubois. He showed that he belongs at this level. He showed that he's got adaptability. We didn't know if he had that before. He was moving his head. You know, he was more mobile than he should have been. He was doing what he was meant to be. He was lighter on his feet. He was trying to be more explosive. He was rolling the dice and gambling when Usyk was punching. He had these moments in there, Daniel Dubois, but he showed that actually he can go away from that, go back to the gym, back to the drawing board, learn and come again. He can definitely come again. That was a great effort there from Daniel Dubois.
And I don't think we should be too hard on him either for the way that it finished, because people can be at times. So here's Michael Buffer.
Referee Luis Pabon reaches the count of 10 at 48 seconds of round number 9. The winner by knockout victory still undefeated, still the unified heavyweight champion of the world, fighting for the people and the nation of Ukraine, Oleksandr Usyk.
Tarczycki Stadium here in Poland erupts as the gentleman that brought Oleksandr Usyk into the ring, singing away, has now joined Oleksandr Usyk in the ring for a full sing-song. Gareth Davis is on the ring apron right now. It looks pandemonium in there, Gareth.
It's amazing. The energy in here is extraordinary. This is a celebration, remember, for the Ukrainian people, for a national folk hero. And he's singing along with a guy who's got better hair than me and a better beard. It's an extraordinary moment to be close to and involved with, because this goes bigger than sport. It's bigger than a boxing match. This is about people being represented. I'm going to make my way over to Daniel Dubois to talk to him.
Skate the edge of that ring. Let's see if we can get a few words from the team over there. Don Charles is shaking his head. Maybe at this moment in time, in the light of the deceased, not in the mood for a conversation. But Gareth is in that red corner.
I'm here with Daniel. Daniel, come here. What an amazing performance you put up tonight, but you look so disappointed.
I am, man. I don't know what is to be my night tonight. I don't have much to say on it. I need to go back and check everything from the performance, everything. But yeah, I'm gutted.
Are you upset that that was called a low blow in the 5th round? Because on the monitor it didn't look so.
Yeah, definitely. That wasn't a low blow. That was a body shot.
I'm going to speak to Frank Warren about it in a minute. Frank wants to speak now. We're just saying that didn't look like a low blow in the 5th round.
Low blow. It's right on his belt, and he made a meal of it. That's the shot. That's what the camp have been working on, working to his body. We see that. Joshua hurt him in the fight when he threw those body shots, but that wasn't low. What you got to do, win twice. You know, at the end, it's soul destroying. That is. He won that, and if he'd have been allowed to carry on, it'd have been all over.
So Luis Pabon made a massive mistake there. The referee, Luis Pabon.
Look, have you seen it back? You watched it back?
We have.
So what do you say? Or is it me?
No, I said, did Luis Pabon make a huge mistake?
All that happened, we will appeal this and go back. You know, it's totally outrageous.
You're going to appeal this, you're saying, yeah?
Of course, it's a liberty what they've done with him.
Did you feel you had him hurt in there, Daniel?
Yeah, I did. I definitely felt that was a body shot and that hurt him. I don't know. I need to go back and check the performance based on my stamina and stuff. Something was a bit wrong, and I need to go back.
But you look like you were in the fight round up. He might have been winning them on points, but it looked like you were able to deplete him by those shots to the body, and you looked like your gas tank was there.
It was, but I don't know, just something a bit lacking. I don't know if I overtrained or something for this fight, but you know what? I'll come again. I thought I hurt him with a body shot.
He told you would come again as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I know.
You will, you will. Great performance in many ways tonight, thank you.
Gareth Davis on the ringside apron there with Daniel Dubois. Frank Warren obviously showing his frustration as well. That 5th round is where the whole fight kind of twists a little bit, because we have the benefit of the replay, of course. Oleksandr Usyk did complain about a low blow, but watching it back on several occasions, it's beltline, boys. It is a beltline. It is a beltline shot. It's not in the breadbasket.
Mate, the only time you've seen Oleksandr Usyk on the floor as an amateur was to body shots. He doesn't like it there. The guys knew they had a secret weapon in the camp, and that was Oleksandr Usyk's old trainer. They'd been working on stuff. We saw in the open workout that Don Charles had the body bag on. He was working the chest, working the hooks to the body. That was the game plan, and it worked. Round 5, it worked. The referee was never going to do Daniel Dubois any favours over here this week, and he certainly didn't there, because that shot was not low. Taking nothing away from Usyk and his performance, right, and the class that he is. But listen, he was on the floor for the best part of 5 minutes there. That's a liberty, really, because the shot weren't low.
But also, I'll just reiterate the point I made at the time, which is that often the referees will give instructions to both fighters in the centre of the ring about what is and what isn't good when it comes to the belt line. I didn't hear him give those instructions in the ring. He might have done it backstage in the dressing room, and sometimes referees will say, depending on the position of the belt line, that the belt line is fine. Sometimes they'll say the top of the belt is the borderline, basically, and so the belt line isn't fine. And when you look at his shorts, he hasn't got that belt line super high, which some fighters do. It's just worth making that point again. But there's no question that the punch landed on the belt.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I know the referee comes in the dressing rooms of both fighters before the fight, and he says, this is where I want your shorts. This is the borderline. Them shorts weren't particularly high, mate, and it landed on the borderline.
Gareth with Don Charles.
Don Charles, Daniel Dubois, Dynamite Dubois' trainer. You just made a very good point, Don, that they need to bring VAR
Most
into
definitely,
boxing.
100%. We got conned out of that. VAR, if you can have it in football, bring it in boxing.
Whoa, there we go.
Don Charles there, obviously incredibly frustrated in the corner with Daniel Dubois, as is Frank Warren. And you've got it, you do have to feel for that team, because, listen, this is an incredibly tough task. Taking on Oleksandr Usyk on this particular night is an incredibly tough task. They've quite evidently worked on a particular game plan, and the game plan worked. They chopped him and chopped him and chopped him and chopped him consistently. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying here and saying that he won rounds against Oleksandr Usyk, because Usyk himself was absolutely fantastic in responding to what Dubois was doing. But that is, without any shadow of doubt in my mind, the most amount of consistent round success that somebody's had against him at heavyweight.
Absolutely. And can I just say one thing as well? Had that been not ruled a low blow there, had it not been ruled a low blow and the referee got him up and gone with it, that fight could have turned out differently, you know, but he was allowed to rest, and rest for too long in my eyes.
Derek Chisora is with Gareth Davies.
Derek, we're just discussing Spencer Oliver saying there, if it wasn't, we don't believe it was a low blow in the replays, and if the referee had let it carry on, Spencer was saying Daniel could have won that fight in the 5th round there.
Let me explain something to you, and I want to be real. Yeah? Yes. Yeah? Look at the arena. Yeah? Ukraine. Yeah? They're at war right now. Okay? He's fighting a black guy. What, they're going to give the winning to the black guy right now?
He's so much of a home fighter, they weren't ever going to give him a hard fight.
Yeah, 100%. Let's all be honest about it. And then you know what we need to do now? We need to get VAR in boxing now. Yeah, we need to get VAR in boxing, because right now, Daniel lost a fight, he lost a rematch, maybe the rematch is going to be worth about 20 million, 30 million. He lost money. So now we need to get VAR. All the other games have been tennis, football. We need it in boxing now. We need VAR in boxing, and that's it.
Were you impressed with Daniel tonight? Even though Usyk was winning the rounds, his engine looked good, he looked very determined, his head movement looked good. What did you see in Daniel tonight?
To be honest, I was not impressed. I was very annoyed with Daniel. He didn't use his size, he didn't use the double jab. I don't know what they were doing. I'm very annoyed. Me and Frank will sit next to each other, and I don't like Frank. Frank don't like me, let's be honest, yeah? But yeah, we have to see each other and enjoy each other's company. But Frank kept on saying, jab, use your weight. He was not, he didn't go into a clinch at all. He was going back, jabbing, going backwards. I was getting annoyed with Daniel. He didn't do what he was supposed to do with Usyk, jump on him, rough him up, tie him up, throw him over the ring, and just mess the game up. Daniel did not do that, and I'm so annoyed with Daniel.
Can he win a world championship?
We don't know. We don't know.
Still don't.
We don't know.
It's always great to see you, brother. Thank you very much.
I miss home, and I want to come back home now, man. Home. My kids, I'm coming home now.
Derek Chisora with Gareth Davies on the ringside. Is that Don Charles that is currently on the microphone in the ring at the moment? He's just addressing the speakers. And I didn't catch what Don Charles was saying. Did you catch anything?
Listen, I can work it out though. He's fuming. He feels like he was robbed of his chance. He feels like if the referee would have picked him back up, all I'm saying is it didn't happen, so it's gone. That's history. You know, in boxing, if something doesn't happen, you've got to put it behind you straight away, get on with it. He didn't do it, but other referees may have said, get up, stop messing around, get on with it. And if that would have happened, Daniel may have got some momentum, because you could see he'd really grown in confidence, because he knew as a fighter that shot didn't go low. You feel it, you know where it goes, and it clipped the top of the belt line. But to go low, you've got to go a good 7-8 inches lower than that to go low. So that would have given him immense confidence going with that body shot landing like he did. It's just a shame Emotions are running high from Don Charles. Understand that. They've been away for best part of 6 weeks up in Spain. Altitude training. They've put a lot into this.
But the VAR point is a good one, because they do use instant replays or ringside replays with the WBC and Nevada sometimes, for example.
Yep.
It's generally to adjudge whether a blow has landed after the bell or before the bell, something of that nature. But in that particular instance, you could watch that back again really quickly as he's lying on the ground, and you could say to him, you're not getting 5 minutes, that wasn't low, get up. That's what could have happened there if we'd had it.
Yeah.
And that would have made a difference. We didn't have it, so Spencer's right to kind of point out that we don't want to talk in too many hypotheticals, but in that instance there would be a valid and easily applicable use of it.
There's no problem with bringing it in. They use it all the time in MMA for whether it's an accidental head clash or these types of things. And it's a quick couple of second reference to the side of the thing, and they go, well, hang on a minute, no, that didn't actually happen, it's a disqualification, or it's this, and this.
Through the history of the sport, you know, we've seen things where a fighter gets hit low and you think, oh, that's out of order, and the referee makes him continue, or vice versa, or there's a head clash and the referee doesn't rule it a head clash and the fighter loses. The point I'm making here is, mate, the point I'm making here is, fighters put their lives on the line, yeah? Fighters put their lives on the line, and it should be fair. VAR is definitely the way forward. We need it within the sport because it effectively changes the sport.
Alex Krasiuk is with Gareth A. Davies in the ring.
Alex, congratulations to you guys tonight. Amazing event. Oleksandr has just left the ring, I think, to celebrate with fans. We'll go and find him in a minute. There's going to be controversy about that 5th round and the low blow. Was it a low blow or not? There's complaints from Frank Warren and others in their corner. What's your take on it?
I mean, we always hear complaints from those people, with all the respect to them, but we never found them guilty. I mean, all the time there's someone else. I'm not blaming anyone, but we will go to the locker room and see what's on Usyk's body.
Oh, you mean in the groin?
Exactly.
Yeah, the crown jewels.
You don't need to be a scientist to define whether it was a low blow or not. Why would he lie for 5 minutes if it's not a low blow?
What was your feeling about tonight's performance and Daniel Dubois' performance against Oleksandr?
You know what? Normally I respect our opponents, and I still respect Daniel, but I did not respect the way they tried to get this victory. That was ugly.
Do you think they deliberately went with blows then that were low?
It was not a one low blow. There were like 3 or 4 of them.
Should the referee have deducted a point then, because he didn't?
Yes, he had to deduct 2 points actually for the first low blow, because it was intentional and it caused damage, and so Usyk could have like 5 minutes of rest according to the rules.
Frank Warren said he's going to appeal the decision, and people are saying they should have VAR in boxing. Would it help if we had VAR or not?
Would it help to define whether it was a low blow or not?
Well, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but how can you define it? You need to see the
actual physical evidence. Exactly. That's fair enough. Listen, thank you.
But you know, if we start to make those physical evidences, we're gonna get high ratings.
Yeah, this is true. Listen, thank you so much for your involvement in this. It's been an amazing event. It's always a pleasure to be around you. Do we move on to Fury and Usyk, or Usyk and Fury now?
The whole world wants it, so we have no other ways to go. Only this one.
Is that the next fight? It's not. Is it going to be split arguments? What do you think?
I don't want to say anything. I've been like giving my anticipation. No, let's say my expectations towards the second round. Towards skill challenge, sending an offer to Usyk, towards many things, but these are just my expectations. So I still have this expectation here in my heart that Fury will get it done. I mean, will give his consent for the fight. I hope he will make it.
We appreciate your time this week. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you very much, man.
Alex Krasiuk there speaking to Gareth Davies in the ring. Just a little one, the unified champion Oleksandr Usyk left quite quickly in the immediacy at the end of the fight. He was taken by several security guards through the crowd and back towards the dressing room in the aftermath of listen, turning the place into a nightclub for 5 minutes off the back of a fantastic victory for him. He remains the unified heavyweight champion. But you know the old age-old saying, you've been saying it all week, Spence, about chaos and opportunity and all this type of thing. Chaos breeds cash, my friend. That's what it is. And if there's a bit of controversy knocking about, then we can surely do it again.
Absolutely. Listen, I think what Daniel proved tonight was that chaos can deliver opportunities, and I think we saw that opportunity there. It didn't go Daniel Dubois' way tonight. He's 26 years of age. Look, he can come again. I thought he put up a great effort. He done a lot better than a lot of people expected him to. Oleksandr Usyk done what he does best. He turned the screw when he had to turn the screw, and he showed that he's got that extra level and that extra class, Andy.
What I wanted from him, or for him this week, was to be able to leave this ring with his pride intact, with his head held high, and with his stock having risen. And that's happened. That's happened. And that, you can't ask for more than that. You train hard, you get in there, you give it your best, and whatever happens, happens. There are no guarantees. You know, we thought we knew what was going to happen, and it turned out we didn't.
But that's what makes this sport absolutely fantastic, isn't it, mate? Travelling around the world, getting to see these fantastic athletes do their thing, and you get to see something quite special. The atmosphere here in Poland throughout the whole course of the week has been truly sensational. Obviously a very emotional week, as Ukraine Independence Day was on Thursday of this week. 45,000 fans turned up in the torrential rain. It's been blistering sunshine all week, but the torrential rain obviously came down on fight night. There was a storm outside the ring, and we ended up getting a storm inside that ring as well. Oleksandr Usyk remains the unified heavyweight champion of the world, but as Andy just rightfully pointed out, the stock of Daniel Dubois has most certainly risen. I think in the next 24, 48, 72 hours, especially on talkSPORT, there will be plenty of conversation about what we've witnessed here in Poland. Expect to hear from Frank Warren once again throughout the course of the week, and next week we're building up towards another cracker here on talkSPORT as Chris Eubank Jr. aims for retribution against Liam Smith. From everybody here at the Tarczyński Arena in Wrocław, Poland, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.